Hey, how's it going, everybody? So I just finished live streaming over on Facebook. We were hanging out for 30 minutes or so. There were about 30 or 40 of you guys. And it was nice because it was kind of a smaller group of people. And we just had a chance to chat about stuff, life, radar detectors, people's experiences all around the world. It was a lot of fun. And it was nice. I've been feeling kind of just like low energy and tired lately. And it was nice just to kind of like help recharge me, honestly, and hang out with you guys. And we were actually thinking about doing like a Zoom chat like this, and so I'll probably post the information later today or tomorrow or something, and we can schedule just like a Zoom chat, hang out like this. It's this is sort of one way ish. Like I'm on camera, you guys can see me, but I can't see you, and I think it would be kind of fun to do a live stream with a bunch of you guys. I have no idea if it would work out or how many people would join, or if it would be too crazy with a lot of people on. But it's just something fun we can try out. So if you're interested in doing it, turn on your camera or not or whatever. It could be kind of fun. Just hang out and see what it's like. It's 2020, so Zoom calls are a thing. So keep an eye out for that. I'll post it on Facebook. I'll post it on Twitter and stuff. And then we can just hang out and do like a Zoom chat. And again, I have no idea if it'll work well. I don't know if it'll be too many people or if it'll be amazing. So we'll find out. Thea, everybody's wondering about Thea and the stuff. So yes, I posted a couple links in the description. First off, some giveaways. I did the Black Friday video the other day. There's still not a ton of stuff that's available yet for Black Friday. There's some things like early Black Friday deals and stuff. I am expecting some more, some of which I know about. I've shared that with you. Some I don't know about, and I'm just expecting to be surprised like you guys. So giveaways, there's the Redline 360C and the M1. I have also added another dash cam to that, the Cobra like SC200D. It's a 2-channel dash cam. I've added that one into the giveaway as well. So there's going to be 2 winners for that. Also in the video description, I've added a link to the Blackview DR752 channel LTE, the one that you pop in a SIM card and it's cloud connected and all. So I'm giving one of those away as well. I've also got some more giveaways coming up for the holiday season. So just fun times, things I'm able to help kind of just share with you guys. So stay tuned for that. I've got links for the giveaways that are already live down in the description. As far as the Thea stuff, yeah, Redenso had actually posted some pictures of Thea's internals if you want to take a look at it. The horn, so you can see both horns. Yes, it has arrows, and specifically some of the RF architecture under the hood. And they've got a thing going like if you're an electrical engineer and you can understand, and explain accurately how Thea works, you can win like a Redenso shirt and hat or something. So I posted a link to that, or probably most of you guys, if you just want to see it, you can check it out now. It's not the outside, it's just some of the internals. Will it be ready in 2 weeks? I still don't know. Redenso is still saying that yes, it's going to be available in 2020. I don't know if that means pre-orders available December 31st. I don't know if it means they'll be shipping and in our hands by the end of the year. I don't even know the price or any of that kind of stuff. Hopefully they'll start to announce some of that soon because we're halfway through November. We've got less than a month and a half left in the year. So hopefully we'll start getting some good information coming out soon. But pandemic, it's a thing. So yeah. So I figured for this live stream, I don't really have a specific topic that I wanted to talk about. I've just been sort of taking it easy and relaxing here. I haven't been posting a lot of videos. I haven't been doing a lot, just sort of needing to take a break. I've still got some projects that I'm working on, but just been tired, sort of burned out lately, to be honest. And so just been kind of like finding things to recharge, either just hanging out with my dog or spending time with my family, or this is fun too, just hanging out and chatting with you all. So that's what we're going to do. So if you want to talk radar detectors, cool. If you want to tell me about your dogs or your life now, what things are like for you, we'll talk about that. So we're just going to hang out and chat. I figured that could be kind of fun too. So let's see. Derek, Unit in R7 is perfect for Georgia. Awesome. I'm glad that it's working there. Oh, here we go. Godowski 17. John said that I would have it in my hands by December 31st, not just released. Awesome. That's great news. I hadn't heard that. Thanks for letting me know. So great. I guess we should expect to have them in less than a month and a half. We'll be able to hold it in our hands. So that's awesome. I'm excited for that too. Dogs are cool. They are. Agreed. The ex got my dog. Oh man, I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, dogs are amazing. It sucks. It sounds like you really liked your dog. So that's unfortunate. David, Yellow Tibby here. What's up, Yellow Tibby? Good to see you here. What are your thoughts? Wrecker's asking on the Cobra RAD 450 for good basic radar detector. Don't really like it. I usually recommend the Uniden DFR7 as kind of your go-to detector around the same price point, 150. I know you can find it if it's in stock for like 160, 170, sort of that range. I think that's a better detector to go. I'm just not a huge fan of the cheap Cobra stuff. The performance and the filtering is just not there. So I usually recommend staying away. That's been kind of an interesting discussion because the the DFR7 rather, will go out of stock and it's supposed to be discontinued. And it's just a weird situation with that detector not permanently disappearing, but then coming back and just, it's a weird situation going on there. So that's the one that I like best, if you can find it. Artem, hey, what's up, Artem? Yeah. Good to see you too. Good to see the live streams are back. Yeah, this is the first one that I've done in a while. I've been sitting around wondering if I would be like just too bummed out to do a live stream. And I don't want to be like depressed on camera or something. Or just kind of like, hey, how's it going? So now that I'm just feeling better, I'm starting to get some energy and stuff. So I'm like, hey, let's hang out and do a live stream. So just did it on Facebook before this, just to sort of like dip my toe in the water, and that was fun. So now we switch back over here to YouTube. So let's see, Jib Jab. I haven't prioritized any new radar detectors because cops seem to be disappearing. Yeah. I kind of wonder that. Are you guys, so pandemic, are you guys driving less? You probably are. Or for those of you who are still going out, are you still seeing the same level of enforcement? Or are you seeing less? Are you seeing more? Like, what are you guys seeing? I'm still seeing radar in use. I don't see a ton. I haven't been hit with laser in a long time. It'd be nice to, but I haven't. So that was even pre-pandemic. It's been a while. Let's see. Some of you guys are saying same amount, some hardly ever. Can I do a poll? I think YouTube allows me to do a poll. Is there pop-out chat? Maybe that's for like the fancy thing. I'm using the super basic YouTube streaming thing. Driving less seems to be more cops out. Only drive to work at night. I see way more enforcement during the day versus at night near Las Vegas. Plenty of enforcement in the tri-state area. Still daily driving. Not as much cops catching speeders. They're out in Georgia. So it seems like, okay, Michigan state troopers are running radar pretty heavily, and local lasers using laser a lot too. Interesting. So you guys are getting kind of like varying results. Some people are seeing more enforcement. Some are similar. Some are less. Interesting. I guess, like anything, it's hard to give one answer that's applicable to everyone everywhere. Got hit with laser last night with the R7 not giving any heads up. Sounds about right. Hit a deer and completely smashed the front of my Civic. Oh man, Clint, I'm sorry. Couldn't even get the hood open. Had to get a new car. Wow. Made me appreciate the ease of transfer and no damage to a windshield not detector. Oh, no kidding. That's one of the tough things of like laser jammers, just having to pull all that out. And yeah, windshield mount radar detectors definitely easier in that regard. I hope you're okay, Clint. I know that's no fun. Yeah. How did it go buying a new car during a pandemic? What was that like? Like, could you test drive it? Or yeah, what was that like? Let's see, Mac Guy, Vortex. Oh, interesting. Mac OS Big Sur broke the Uniden update software. Oh, that sucks. The last one, what was it, like El Capitan? It didn't work. And then when you would upgrade to, what was the one that we just had prior to Big Sur? I forget. The one that we've had for a while, like it worked there, but then I guess it looks like it updated. But the update, it broke again. Catalina. Yes, thank you, Catalina. Yeah, depending on the version of OS X that you were running, sometimes it would work. I haven't tested that yet. I'll have to try it in a bit here too. Thanks for the heads up. Hopefully Uniden will update their software. We'll see. The betas of macOS have been out for a while, so those devs have had a lot of time to fix it. Excuse me. That's true. They totally have. Yeah, I don't want to try to make excuses for companies when they have had time to update their stuff. So I just say, yes, I agree. When is 1.5 being released for the Redline 360C? Good question, Paul. I know Escort had said a couple of weeks ago that they were going to be releasing one update sooner and then another one later. One thing that I've learned about Escort updates is don't hold your breath. They may never release stuff. That may take a lot longer. It may surprise come out sooner, but just hopefully it comes out. And I'm just going to leave it at that, I guess. So it's an exercise in frustration a lot of times waiting for Escort to fix stuff. So hopefully they will do so. I know there's always going to be hiccups and maybe it's more difficult to fix than they thought or whatever the case is, but that's sort of the trend that I've noticed. So hopefully soon, but don't hold your breath, I guess. Let's see. I've not installed the Mac CI because of a lack of updates. Yeah, that hasn't gotten a lot of updates either. Went with the NetRadar instead. It's had, I think, a few updates, mostly, I guess, your Defender database stuff, but not a ton. Yeah, not a ton for the Mac CI. Let's see. To what extent do you think the R7's auto lockouts are ready for public release? How much should I say? They need tweaking. They technically work, but not in a way that I think people will be super happy about. We've already reported that to Uniden. It's just up to them. Even Uniden, the guys there are like, yeah, I totally agree. We want to make the same changes. Need to get it done. I don't know why things are taking longer. Maybe it's just taking longer due to the pandemic. I don't know some of the behind the scenes stuff there, but technically the current implementation would work, but I don't think people would be super happy with it. So we'll leave it at that. Let's see. Clint, I was not injured, but I can't say the same for the deer. Totally. Dealerships are allowing test drives in my area. I just had to wear a mask, it's business as usual. Cool. I'm glad you were able to do that. I'm sure that totally varies depending on where in the country you are too. Hopefully they also like sanitize the car afterwards and stuff too. ALP and Uniden are the best company with updates. Even they're not that great. The others are even worse, especially Escort. That's always been an interesting thing because a lot of the money is in releasing a new product and not in the updates. Updates, a company doesn't make any money when they release an update. But it does cost them time and energy and customer support and the development and all that to release an update. So yes, they have to continue paying for stuff and they don't make money off of it. And so I understand from a business perspective, that side of wanting to just release new products and updates kind of falling off. But at the same time, I think there's a lot to be said for buying a product that continues to be supported and continues to improve over time. Like that's a big deal. And that's a big part of something that I like about detectors or jammers with the ALP. Yes, it continues to be updated. And there was a thing of like how the oldest CPUs are going to stop being supported with new updates. I get that, but they're trying to maintain support for different CPUs and different head implementations and different versions of TX heads and regular head, all this stuff, right? Different RG modules, and there's a lot to support. So while I can understand companies starting to like phase out, supporting older stuff, it's definitely nice when companies continue to do it. And yeah, ALP is one of the best. Uniden traditionally has done a good job. It seems like they've sort of slowed down recently. But yeah. All the discussion about laser detection and a radar detector. That's always a fun thing to talk about because, for the most part, their ticket notifiers is best. I know somebody had mentioned earlier got shot with laser and the detector didn't even go off. Totally, that happens. Or if it does go off, it's a ticket notifier. Hey, boom, your cop already has your speed. Congratulations. Rarely can you get actually what's it called? Like a scatter save or something. Like it is possible, and people have done it. You can get a detection when the cop is shooting a car ahead of you, and it like kind of bounces off their car and ricochets and detects, and your detector picks it up or your jammer picks it up. That can happen. It's rare. It's kind of like winning the lottery or something. It does happen, but it's not something that you're going to want to rely on, right? And so it's one of those things where like, okay, we can look for kind of edge cases and exceptions to the rule and stuff. Yes, technically a detector can save you, or you can get shot with laser and know, hey, I'm getting shot. I should probably not accelerate super fast. Yes, you totally can get saves from a radar detector, but those are very much the exception to the rule, and by no means can you rely on those to reliably protect you from laser. That's where laser jammers are. And so it's always fun to get into the discussion. If you say there's speeding ticket notifiers, people always say, well, I've had saves before, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, well, yes, there's exceptions. Or it's like, again, how do you just give a simple answer that's mostly accurate? Yeah, that's always a fun one. So let's see. Laser detection helps because it gives me time to get my license and registration ready. Yeah, that's true too. I don't want to run jammers anymore because I don't want to drill through my firewall and cut my grill. Understandable, case by case. Some cars are easy to work on. I know the ZW5s, people like those sometimes for the, what's it called? The wireless thing, where people have even done wireless ALPs, put like the ALP CPU in a waterproof case and put that in your engine bay and then just run Bluetooth to the, like your phone in your car. I've seen people do that. The ALP doesn't warranty in case the waterproof housing fails and your CPU gets wet. They've actually voided people's warranties for that. So you just really, really have to make sure you waterproof the CPU, but that's an option. Cutting in the grill, of course, is some cars are just tough, if not almost impossible. So yeah, there's stingers. If you really want jammers, there's the stinger jammers. That's an option. I think good laser detection with some chance of detecting scatter is important when you can't really install jammers like in a rental car. I agree. It's nice. And given the choice, Artem, I agree. I would rather have it than not have it. Personally, I think, I don't know, Waze or Highway Radar or JBV1 or one of those other apps, like that will be much more effective against laser than any radar detector will. So I agree with you. I would definitely rather have good laser detection and a radar detector than not. And there's places where it can be useful. But yeah, Waze or JBV1 or Highway Radar, that's going to be much better against laser than any radar detector. But sure, given the choice, I agree. It's nice. David, I wish there was an actual windshield mount laser jammer that would work. Yeah, the laws of physics just make that tough. Radar detector on the windshield, you're being shot down here in the grill. I mean, it's just half the time it doesn't even see the signal. You know, how's it supposed to like keep track of the signal and jam it properly? And then potential reflections with the laser signal kind of bouncing around in the cabin and maybe to your eyes. Like it's best just to keep it in the grill. ARKA band. Hey, what's up? Good to see you. Let's see. Shaft. Cool name. Less law enforcement on the road in Northern Virginia, I notice. How wide is the laser beam when it hits your car? That's always a fun discussion because it's usually like what? 18 inches diameter at 500 feet, or, you know, you give all these kind of numbers, depend on the dispersion pattern, or what's the term, like the beam spread of the laser gun. But then you always run into issues of like, okay, are they aiming at the center? How much handshake is there, and how much handshake is being magnified at a distance? So they're aiming at the grill, but some of it maybe comes up there. Like you have like the exact numbers of how far it, you know, how wide it gets, but then it also just moves around, and where in the car are they targeting? So we could talk about the number, but it's not necessarily super meaningful. I think it's just nice to know, like, hey, maybe, you know, the beam is 18 inches in diameter at 500 feet, let's say, or I don't know, a foot wide at a mile, or whatever it is, not a mile, 1,000 feet. Like it's going to vary, but the point is, yeah, it's still a pretty small beam, and it's not like this or anything. It's still a pretty small beam being aimed at your like front plate or your headlights or something. So it's tough. Human hands wobble. They do. Will we be able to modify Thea to have different sounds? Yes. I think they've even been joking about like custom sounds you can do. And people have been posting like as a joke, different funny sounds that they want to put onto their Thea. So that's going to be an interesting thing. It's not just open source to where, or sorry, open API to where an app can like communicate to Thea, but you're actually going to be able to do things to customize Thea. I think they talked about custom sounds. Maybe customizing the display. I wonder to what degree people will be able to add new features to Thea, because you can customize the detector itself. It will require a developer to do. It's not necessarily just a setting you can turn on and off. So developers will be able to do it, but it's a Linux computer. So those of you guys who are familiar with programming for Linux, have at it. It'll be an open source detector. I mean, yeah. What's up, Blue Wolf? I want Beltronics tones on Thea. Yeah, I like the Beltronics ones. I like the Beltronics, the Escort, the V1 tones are nice. That'd be fun to put like the old school bell, like K band, like to put that on there. So the bell, I like the Beltronics KA, like, or whatever. That was a good tone. I like that one. I missed that. That was really nice. I have noticed some of the newer Beltronics ones have like improved Beltronics tones, like digitally remastered Beltronics KA tones available now on the GT360 and stuff. Like the newer ones sound better than like the old RX65 and stuff. Whiskey time. I thought about it, but now this is just unspiked coffee. But yeah, if you guys want to, by all means, we can turn it into like a drinking game or something. It's 12:46 here, but 5 o'clock somewhere. Thank you, Blend43. I appreciate the super chat donation. Thanks very much. I want to do Star Wars sounds, like when Luke gets closer and closer to the Death Star vent hole. That would be funny. That's a good idea. Maybe people can start posting like custom voice packs and stuff for Thea. Is it a Christmas cup? Yeah. I love fun mugs. So I've got one that's shaped like a stocking, has like a little foot hanging off. This is like a Christmas one that a friend of mine gave me. I grew up Jewish. I didn't even celebrate Christmas going out, but it's a fun mug. My wife celebrates Christmas. And so anyway, whatever. JBV1 is the app, right? It is, yeah. Great app. Captain Morgan, whiskey. Yeah, what are you guys drinking? If you guys are drinking, what are you guys having? Let's see. I bought a Max 360, but it keeps giving me false alerts. What does your Max keep falsing to? It's got some filters, of course, to help filter out like door openers and speed signs and stuff, but it's going to false to some cars just like anything else. Hondas, Acuras, Jeeps, Chryslers, whatever, different cars. Wow, Mike, rolling with the old school Beltronics V8 right now. How are you doing that? Are you running it with K-band turned on? Like, or just KA band, or how are you doing that? Because I couldn't imagine running an old detector like that with K-band on nowadays. That sounds kind of, yeah, that's a thing. Saber, what is Saber? So Saber, Daryl, it's a plugin essentially for JBV1 or for highway radar to help add some additional functionality. So there's different plugins available to add some additional features to JBV1 that aren't built into the app. Some are starting to come out. And Saber itself just basically gives those apps the ability to be compatible with different plugins that people have started making available. So the information is on the forum. You do have to be an RDF member, but if you go take a look, the information is there. So just kind of, I guess it's kind of like how the V1 has an open API that has the ability for developers to write apps for the V1. Saber gives other developers the ability to write apps, if you will, plugins, extra functionality for JBV1 or for highway radar. So Saber is sort of the intermediary to allow that. King of Kings. I swear I'll be passing cops when they park on the side of the highway and the Max 360 will not go on. Man, I wish I had a nickel for every time people would ask that. Godowski. Nailed it. If they're not running radar, it's not going to alert. Radar detectors are not police car detectors. Correct. A lot of times if they're just on their computer, if they've got their radar gun turned off, rinsed and on, or if they're running laser like that, we talked about that a few minutes ago. Yeah, you're not going to get the alerts. Super common. It'd be kind of funny. I wish sometimes that I wash my hands. So now every time I touch my face, I'm like, did I sanitize? Did I wash my hands? Yes, I'm good. Okay. Still trying not to, but it would be nice, I guess. I wonder if like detector companies, when you open the detectors, like, congratulations, you bought a radar detector. This is not a police car detector, or had like an FAQ or something just to help minimize returns, or just to help people better understand, how does this stuff work? Because that's so common that it doesn't alert when you pass police. I've seen so many people who are just concerned about that, completely understandably, but yeah, it's a common thing, so no worries. Tons of people wonder that same thing. David Wu, I want to put hand sanitizer in my eye by accident. That sucked a lot. Oh, that sucks. So hopefully you still got both your eyes. But yeah, that's not good. Especially if you're like, oh man, I touched my face. Now I'm trying to get sanitizer there to clean myself off. So like maybe you put it here or something and you're like, oh, and you smell it, or you get it in your eyes, or yeah. Richie, hello. Can I ask a dash cam question? Of course, that's what we're here for. We're just hanging out chatting, so ask away. Let's see. Clint, while I was in my rental car, I found that a known fixed location KA false alert on my daily commute occurred about 50 yards further down the road on the rental car than it did in my personal car. Interesting. I wonder if that has anything to do with the glass. Maybe it was mounted a little higher or lower. Interesting. I wonder why. Diesel fuel on skin burns too. Oh, gosh, I've never tried that. I don't drive a diesel. That sucks. Let's see. When people buy radar detectors or laser jammers, there should be a link to your channel on RDF. It'd be nice. I thought about I should probably do a video series on radar detectors 101. And we go over a lot of the stuff of how do you mount it properly? Up, down. It's not a police car detector. Here are the things it's going to false to. If you have one with GPS, here's what it's designed to do. Here's the basics of what does X-band and K-band and KA-band mean. Just that kind of basic stuff. I mean, I guess we could then eventually get into frequency stuff, or what is MRCD, or detecting police radar versus police laser, and all that kind of stuff. A fun project. It's been on my list for a while. It just comes down to time. I know, Richie, you're asking, can you recommend the best quality 4K dash cam or 1080p dash cam you've seen? Yeah, the video that I'm working on now, and I've been slowly working on that for the past 3 weeks, is the best dash cams video. Just, I think it was about 2 hours, and I'm just like cutting out chunks when we reshot something, or we just took a little break in the middle or something. So I'm just kind of still editing it down. It's a process. If you just go to my website, vortexradar.com, at the button or at the top, there's a button that says dash cams. Click on that, and it goes over my favorites from VFO, from Thinkware, from Blackview, that kind of stuff. Those are some of my favorites I would recommend. Usually the VFOs, the ones that are sitting over here. Actually, here, I'll just grab them real quick. You see my PJ pants, because it's quarantine time. So, yeah, the ones I usually recommend, VFO A129, I think it's going to be discontinued soon. They're replacing it with 1080p. The front camera, it's going to be going to 1440p. It's like $10 more or something. Definitely worth it. The A129 Plus, great one. For 4K, I like the A129 Pro. Great quality and features for the money and stuff. I just actually did a video, an article review on my website, all the different A129 series dash cams. Just go there and scroll down a little bit. You'll find it. Come here. Come say hi, Albus. Come say hi. Hi, everybody. Hi. You know, he loves to just like sleep on my lap, basically. So while I'm working here, I just got my dog there. But yeah, those are usually the ones that I recommend. I get a lot of questions of like, what about the Vantrue dash cams, or what about the Garmin ones, or what about insert any brand name? And I'm like, I still haven't found any dash cams that offer like the quality and the features of those ones. Or are they? These ones for the money. I mean, they've just kind of sort of become like the benchmark that I found for features and quality for the money. They're not perfect. Sometimes they break. They don't have every feature imaginable. There are things that I wish they had that they didn't have. They're not perfect. None of them are. But just big picture, there's some of the best that I've found in terms of features and quality for the money. So sometimes I wonder, people are going to think I'm like sponsored by VFO or something. And I'm like, no, here you go. If somebody else comes out with a better dash cam, I'll happily recommend them. Whatever. I don't care. Run whatever you want. This is just best that I found so far. Yeah, it comes down to the AF and the Blackview. I like the cloud of the Blackview. Me too. I like it. I do wish the video quality was better, but I really like the cloud functionality. The Thinkware's cloud functionality is just not comparable. So if you like the cloud, yeah, Blackview is the way to go. Shaft. When is Thea released? I think it was Godowski mentioned earlier in the chat that John had mentioned it should be available for what's it called? We should have them in our hands by the end of the year, by December 31st. So that's the latest news that I heard. I learned that a few minutes ago. So I don't know when pre-orders are available, but that's apparently the latest news. Scott, thank you, Scott. Money for a quarantine pre-roll. What do you mean by pre-roll? Like shooting a pre-roll or something? Like before my videos? Or what do you have in mind for a pre-roll? VFO gives video quality that makes a Blackview not worth the prices. I know. Wouldn't it be nice if there was one dash cam that had good video qualities and good feature set and just kind of did everything? I would love that. But yeah, I guess kind of what we're hoping Thea is going to be for radar detectors. It would be nice to have a dash cam that sort of ticks just about every box you could want. If it's more expensive, I get it. But just like my GoPros have better video quality than any dash cam that's out there. But they don't have the dash cam specific features. So it would be nice to have something with amazing video quality and all of the features that you want. And the cloud stuff would be cool too. It would be even nicer if we could easily replace dash cams without rewiring the rear camera. Yeah. If they standardize that, I know there's SMA connectors. Sometimes there's like micro USB or mini USB. There's all sorts of different connectors that hasn't been standardized. So kind of, I guess, locks you into a brand sometimes if you want to update. It's one of the reasons I think I'm going to stick with the new Blackviews. I can just easily swap out the front cameras. I got to do new power cables. But no, I agree. They could all standardize on like USB Type-C or something. The GoPros overheat too quick. I know, no kidding. Those things overheat. It's crazy. My A7 III I got over there, that thing overheats. GoPro dash, man, everything overheats. Yeah. Having trouble with the M1 Death Killix. Having trouble with the Escort M1 app. Not able to view the camera live with the app. Could you discuss, I guess, the limitations of the M1? I actually just posted a review article on my website a few days ago talking about some of the limitations. Yeah, I haven't had the greatest experience with the app either. Sometimes it is difficult to connect. Sometimes, like, maybe it would be tougher on iPhone, but it works better on Android. I've noticed I've had reliability issues with my M1 as well, with the Wi-Fi specifically. It's just not that great. I know the Cobra Road Scout, similar idea, also has some weird issues with that. So that might just be part of however the Wi-Fi stuff has been implemented on their dash cams. It's not perfect. Richie, sounds like you recommend the VFO A129 Pro. I do. I definitely do. When I go back to get my Thea hardwire done, there's a bunch of things I want to do to my car. So Thea hardwire, swap in the DR900X, the newer Blackviews, and I want to get the A129 Pro put in my car as well, specifically for the better video quality to run alongside the Blackview. So Blackview for the cloud, VFO for the quality. Yeah. Maybe I'll do the ThinkWare. I don't know. But I'm still pretty set on the VFO. I like the smaller form factor. If I've got a bunch of stuff in my windshield and I still need room for testing things. Let's see. Roy Quitter. I went past a speed trap yesterday on the way to work, looked at my dash cam footage. The R7 alerted 1.2 miles ahead of time, and that was modern traffic. Not too bad. That's great. Yeah. That's kind of like the most that I ever see here. A little over a mile, maybe a hair over a mile is like the longest I ever see out here in Washington. Obviously depends on terrain and which way the radar gun antenna is pointing and all that stuff. But, you know, yeah. Just joining. You said, Thea, any updates? Maybe that should have been like the drinking game. What's the latest updates on Thea? Because that one keeps getting asked. That could be fun. So maybe we'll make that for the rest of this live stream, however long we go. Yes, there's a link in the video description to an update Redenso had posted. You can see kind of the guts of Thea now if you want to take a look. Take a look at that. And apparently I just found out somebody had mentioned that Thea should be available by the end of the year, December. If you have a link to that post, that would be really nice to take a look. I haven't seen that confirmed, but yeah, I believe you, Godowski. If you just have a link to that, if you can find that, let me know. No, it's totally cool, Lonnie. Don't worry about beating a dead horse. It's just, obviously, it's one of the big hype things that everybody's super interested in. So I completely understand, too. We're all waiting for more information about it. So let's see. Wow. Okay. Blue Hemi. My V1 Gen 2 had a 9-mile detection last week. That's amazing. Wow. That's really good. All the way from Searchlight, Nevada to California, Nevada, Arizona. I guess there's like a 3-way border down southern tip on US 95. That's really cool. That's one of the nice things about like super flat open deserts is 9-mile detection ranges. Kangol, will Thea have arrows? Instead of just saying yes, go take a look at the link I put in the description, and you can actually see Thea's like front and rear horns, just like you'd have on the V1 or the Max 360C or the R7 or anything else. Go take a look at that. Let's see. Nevada is super flat sometimes. Totally. Mounted in a semi-truck. Okay, yeah, that definitely helps. Be able to see up super high. Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for the super chat, both to Death Killix and to Johnny Vega. Awesome videos. Keep it up. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out here with me. Johnny, what do you think about the inner works of the antennas published today? You mean like the Thea ones? It was interesting. And we saw some stuff of how like there's an LNA for K and KA band, and X band is actually routed around the LNA. So there's not an LNA for X band specifically. There is one for K and KA. So that was kind of interesting, something we saw. I can't look at that stuff well enough and like understand and decipher and read the super specifics of like the way everything has been laid out and whatnot. But there's some cool stuff. Like they got a fun message there about like something like the purpose of stage 1 is engineering excellence, or I'm slightly misquoting it, but something like that. Like there's some fun Easter eggs that you'll find if you take a look in there. It's worth taking a look, even if you don't understand everything. But I'm sure we're going to find out more soon with all that of just how Thea works. And now yes, I know we all want it in our hands. We all want it yesterday, and we all want Thea. But I guess this is kind of the next best thing in the meantime while they're getting everything ready. Let's see. Shady Hess. What car manufacturer do you think is the most radar/jammer friendly or open to countermeasures, or might sell a built-in one? So BMW is doing the integration with Escort to get their cloud alerts pumped in to iDrive, which was kind of cool. Just the fact that there's more integration in the first place. I know some companies have dash cams they're putting in, like the Corvettes for their track stuff. Teslas with their Sentry mode, like you can access the dash cam footage from there, which is pretty cool. I know some companies like Audi actually has OEM branded dash cams that are horribly overpriced and underspec'd, but they have their own ones that are designed to blend with your car. As far as the grills, yeah, the Audis are nice. I really like the horizontal grills. There's, what's it called? The new BRZ just got posted. And of course, the new like 2022 redesigned BRZ looks kind of like an RX-8 or something. The grill there seems fairly friendly, so we'll have to see what that's like. So I know Volkswagens tend to be pretty good. Just anything with those horizontal wide grill slats. A lot of Ford trucks, those tend to be pretty nice. But it depends on the year. Like I know some of the Q5s, like the one that I have, they've been redesigning the grill, and I don't think it's quite as good. So yeah. But case by case, I know some cars like the Audis, they can be really tough to work on. So it's not just the grill, but like the German cars are tougher to run their cables in or to get through the firewall. So sometimes you need to go professional versus you get like a Toyota or a Mazda or a Hyundai or something. Like I've had a Hyundai and a Mazda, and those cars are like Legos. It's super easy to pull the panels off and like tuck cables in and stuff. So some cars are just easier to work on. Others are more difficult to work on, in addition to just looking at the grill itself. So that's something to consider too. And yeah, mesh grills, like some of the Mercedes are tough to work on. Graph Performance, greeting from Austria. Guten Tag. Or how would you say it in like kind of Austrian German? Would you say that? It's probably, your German's a little bit different. I know it's not German, and there's Schweizerdeutsch and all your different variations of German. Abraham recently got hit by a car. Oh man, sorry to hear that. I owned the U1000 dual dash cam. Recorded the vehicle, but trying to zoom in to see the license plate. Is there a process you can use to sharpen the image? I mean, I use Final Cut to like edit my videos, but that's more for like making YouTube videos. I wonder what would be the easiest way to do that, because sometimes, yeah, it can be difficult depending on lighting or speed and that kind of stuff. What's the best way? Sometimes, like I know ThinkWare has an app like Dashcam Viewer or something, and you should be able to like freeze frame the video or like zoom into certain spots. So you could try that. That might be the easiest way to go in and do it. That's probably what I would try first. Try using ThinkWare's Dashcam Viewer. Yeah, try that. If you've already tried that, let me know. But let's see. Be good evening. Guten Abend. Okay, so good evening at 10 p.m. over here. Yeah, that's always fun with the time zone differences. I know there's some guys from like Australia, New Zealand tuning in too, which is pretty cool. What's up, guys down under? Let's see. The girl with the ponytails on CSI can. Yeah, totally. She'd be able to do it. Enhance. 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 Oh, the license plate. I can see it perfectly reflected off of somebody's eyeball. Wow. My dash cam was used to convict a robbery suspect. Came running by me late at night. Wow. That's quite a story. Do you have that like shared, that story or that video? I guess you happened to see the guy going by and you had the dash cam footage you were able to give to police or something. That's kind of amazing. Yeah. Let's see. Eric, so well behaved. I've been watching for 5 minutes and it hasn't moved at all. Is that a dog or a pillow? Yeah, that's my dog. Say hi. He just falls asleep here in my lap for like hours. And eventually I need to get up and I'll do something, and then he'll just come back and want to get right back into my lap. I actually developed knee problems for a little while because I would sort of like bend my knee sideways to make a little pillow for him, and he would push down sideways on my knees. So I'm like, he would fall asleep and it hurt my knee. So I had to like change the way I sit and to let my knee sort of recover from him sleeping here on my lap all the time. So now he's got his head on my armrest instead of my knee. So that works a little bit better, but yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, he's super chill. Good dog. Just a lap dog. Happy Thursday, everybody. Totally. Happy Thursday to you, Chadler. Sorry, I was about to say Chandler, but happy Thursday, Chadler. Omar, by chance, do you have any idea of what types of radars they use in Mexico? Unfortunately, I don't. That's always one of the difficult things is internationally, things vary so much. Equipment they use, how they use it, the laws, the radar detectors that are available, the firmwares that you get, the settings that you need. Like, I don't really have a good way of testing that kind of stuff. And I mean, yeah, I've already got my hands full already just trying to cover the US and some North America. That is tough for me to cover. Okay, international stuff. Unit and R7. There was a really cool version of the R7 that people have been posting. There was an Israel. Posted this on the forums the other day. There's a version of the R7 made specifically for Israel that has like Israeli firmware and some menu options that we don't have. There was also one that looks like, because laser jammers are, I'm assuming, banned in Israel, somebody, it looks like, took a TMG head with receivers but no transmitters and somehow hooked it up to the R7 so that when your grill gets shot with laser and the TMG head detects the laser, because the R7 itself is not that great, and we talked about that earlier in the live stream, at detecting laser, it can trigger the laser alert on your R7 when the TMG head in your grill is picking it up. I don't know exactly how they hook up together. I think somebody, Jag42, mentioned something about like an RF communication. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but just something interesting that I saw of additional stuff being built that isn't available here in the US. And is that feasible to use there because the laws are different, or maybe the laser operates differently, or I don't know. It's just things vary so much around the world that, yeah, it's just, yeah, stuff is different everywhere you go. So I would love to be able to cover international stuff and motorcycles and all the stuff that I just don't have a good way of testing myself. But yeah, hopefully somebody else who's like super into, if you're in Mexico and you'd love to do this kind of stuff too, by all means, please start a YouTube channel or a website and just start testing stuff, start doing reviews. Let us know what kind of enforcement is down there, what kind of things you experience, what detectors are best. Do what I do. Do your own thing. Have fun with it. Like, we definitely need more people spending time testing. Like, I can't do this. I mean, I go through periods where I'm just burned out and exhausted. I'm like, I need a break from making videos. I've definitely have my limitations. I've still got a huge list of stuff that I want to cover that I just haven't had the time to. It definitely helps having a lot of people who can all help contribute and test or provide information or whatever. So anyway, yeah, that. Hola, Vortex, the Mexicano edition. That could be funny. I always thought, like, yeah, what happens if I move to another country? Would I start doing like radar detectors in Europe or something, or in Australia, or what would that be like? But they're banned in Australia now, so yeah. Is the newest TMG units available to defend against the VPR guns? Again, a tough thing to give a simple answer to. Yes, many of them. Can it do all guns? No. Can it do? Sometimes I know they struggle at closer range, but hopefully it's farther enough distance. I'm getting a little tongue-tied. Farther enough away to where you're still able to jam it and slow down in time. I found it to be not as effective as the ALP, but nevertheless, I mean, yeah, it's definitely better than nothing, and a lot of people have had great results with the TMG. So yeah, it seems like they're definitely working on their Dragon Eye stuff too. Gun acquisition and keeping track of all the latest guns is definitely a challenging thing. There's so many different versions of the gun and so many details there, and it can be kind of a complex answer. Can it jam VPR guns is kind of a difficult thing. How do the VPR guns work against the newest ALP? That has changed with some of the most recent updates too. ALP continues to change, and as new guns keep coming out and, uses up a lot of memory, and then like, okay, make sure we can still support all the different guns, and you got the police grade guns and all this kind of stuff. Like, stuff definitely changes. And I know all the manufacturers are definitely doing their part to make sure, hey, there's new guns coming out. We need to continue to support it and stay up to date. And I find overall ALP does the best with that. And yeah, but then always there's going to be new guns coming out, and ALPs are going to have to update, and TMG has to update, and Escort and Stinger, and everybody has to update. That's just how the game goes. It's a cat and mouse game, So Yeah, things are always changing. It's a fairly dynamic thing. Yeah. This is my day job. This is, yeah, I do this full time. Yeah. Yeah, this is what I do now. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Arspec? Good to see you on here. Yellow Tibby, what's up? Eric, what's your take on K-band in Western Washington? So let's see. I know you're in the Seattle area. I'm in Gig Harbor, Tacoma. Only seen falses on K-band on the R3. Is it even used here? Yes. I've seen Washington State Patrol using K-band. I've seen it like when you start going over the pass. Some of the smaller towns, when you go out that way, use K-band. I've seen it on I-5. Washington State Patrol used to use primarily 33.8. I've seen more now 34.7 from them, 35.5. I've seen them operating K-band. I completely agree with you that it's rare. It's not used often. My mom's detector, my wife's detector, I disable K-band for them. I know here there's K-band. I picked it up the other day. Surprisingly, like it happens, but it's very, very rare here. And I completely get it. You got an R3, you got a detector that falses to K-band and you don't see a lot of K-band. There is an argument to be made for turning it off altogether as long as you understand the risks. But yeah, I guess to answer the question is, yeah, there's still some of it, especially in some smaller towns. I know Kirkland and Issaquah, for example, up here at least, they use it. I don't know every little town, if you go cross over to Gig Harbor and stuff. Some places use K-band, some don't. And I guess if you really haven't seen any K-band for a while, you could always consider turning it off. You just understand the risks of what happens if you encounter it. And yeah, so I guess long story short, I have seen it throughout Western Washington, but it is pretty rare. At least that's what I've seen. What about you? Have you seen any K-band in Gig Harbor or Tacoma, or what have you seen? World's most annoying superhero, Captain K-band. And yeah, who was that saying? David, I live in Virginia, and it's IO K-band hell. Yeah, that's the worst. I'll bet you're going to be like one of the first in line for Thea then. Yeah, to just have like good K-band. Tom Thumb. K-band uses in Ireland in the speed camera vans. You guys do. I know Portland, Oregon, there's K-band speed vans. There's a bunch of places that do that. And obviously you've got the MRCD stuff up in Edmonton and yeah, K-band. So what are the specific frequencies for K-band known threats? That can really vary. I know some of you guys in like New Zealand, for example, might have just like a 10 megahertz range of K-band, and it's super tightly controlled that this is the only place where they transmit on K-band and everything else you can shut off. That's one of the reasons why international versions of detectors usually have a lot more segments on K-band. In the US, actually, Mo, where are you before I go too far down that route? Where in the world are you located? Here in the US, K-band can be anywhere across K-band. 24,050 to 24,250 is the traditional range, but there are some K-bands that transmit down lower than that. You're in Edmonton. They do have some MRCD trucks that transmit down below 24,050, which is why if you run the R3, which cannot scan below that, it's just going to flat out miss some of those MRCD trucks. And so you'd need a detector like the R7 or the Pro M or something that can detect K-band below 24,050, and they kind of vary in their frequency range. And so you can't really rely on frequency ranges depending on where you are to the degree that you can on K-band, because they can kind of be all over the place. But again, as I mentioned, depending on where you are in the world, that can vary. Sometimes they are in small sections of K-band, but usually, yeah, they can be all across K-band. Let's see, Jacob. So much more laser here in Georgia than back in Illinois. Illinois was all K and K. Yeah, well, I mean, you've got Dragon Eyes based in Norcross. So, I mean, all around Atlanta, you've got to, yeah, you're going to have laser there for sure. Lost in the electrical aisle. Let's see. So you're asking about action cameras, where they're intended from, or can you clarify the question? Thea is not going to prioritize X-band, still seeing as Ohio uses it. I'm sure there's a good reason why they chose not to have the, maybe the sensitivity was already sufficient and they wanted to optimize it for K and KA. I mean, You could always have a different LNA for X-band. Maybe they wanted to not optimize it, but I'm assuming they had a good reason if they're based in Ohio. And like you said, yeah, they have X-band there. So I think that would be interesting to see kind of their choice on why do they choose not to do an LNA on X-band. You know, I'm sure there's multiple reasons, but yeah, I'm curious too. Let's see. I have the Pro M and the Escort Passport Max run both at the same time. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Do we want to go down that route? Not a good idea to run 2 detectors at the same time? Should we go down that route? Or I guess why? Is there a reason you're running 2? And are you aware of the issues? So that's a whole thing. But GT Pro. Let's see. I've been considering turning K-band off here in the R7 in Santa Clara County in Northern California also. Since day 1 of 2020, they were all falses. I figure if I don't see legit signals for 18 months, it's worth the risk. Completely understandable. I've heard there's a few places in the Bay Area to where, but then that's been like kind of contested or debated with updated information. And so, yeah, it seems like for the most part, even though there's some K-band throughout California that people have reported, it seems to be almost all KA totally and lasers. So I think that's a great situation where you may want to consider turning off K-band. I completely understand that it's a risk, but sometimes the risk is worth it. It's weird, I guess, to consider turning off a band where you could potentially get, you know, police running radar and detector's not going to alert. But yeah, it's the only KA band in Santa Clara, where I'm from. TrueCam 2. How do they rate against the ALP? Fine. Yeah, ALP can jam the TrueCam. Though you're going to run into I don't know who the European distributor is. It's yeah. Anyway, that's a whole different discussion. But yeah, ALP should be fine against the TrueCam. What's everyone doing this weekend? I'm going hiking at Shenandoah National Park in Virginia. Going to run my Pro-Am high behind the sun visor. Great. Oh man, that should be beautiful. What's it like up there? I've never been to that national park in Shenandoah. I'll bet this time of the year too, with the fall colors, it's probably going to be pretty gorgeous. You're going to go like hiking up there? Are you doing any backpacking? I know you said hiking, but are you going to go like camping out there too, or backpacking, car camping? Kind of curious. Day hiking. John Doe, thanks for the great content. You're welcome. Thanks for hanging out here with me on what day is it? Thursday afternoon, talking about radar detectors and dash cams. It's fun. I enjoy it too. So thank you. Godowski, some people run in California with K-band on, but extreme filtering. Quiet ride max setting, all filters on, lowest sensitivity setting. That's a good way to do it. Run like quiet ride 100 miles an hour or something. Just keep it basically always muted. Yeah, that's an option. That could be an alternative too. Just run it in city mode and crank up the low speed muting to like ridiculously high settings. Maybe that would be an alternative. Let's see. I run both at the same time because when they both alert for KA at the same time, I know it's a real threat. Are you not confident about that if it alerts individually? Because I know like I do get some false KA alerts with the Pro-M. KA filter does seem to help with that. But yeah, they can interfere and negatively affect each other, cause more false alerts or reduce the range of the other. So I guess, are you trying to deal with not trusting your detector on KA, or I'm curious. Let's see. Eric, California. Sorry if I'm late to the party. Hey, what's up, Eric? What's your daily driver? Usually Redline 360C, but I switch detectors a lot. Right now I've got the R7 in there. I ran, I think I ran the RCM today when dropping my daughter off at daycare. I just run different detectors all the time. I think that's part of the fun, is having variety. To me, I know this isn't everybody, but to me, having a variety of detectors is kind of like having a variety of food and getting to have something different to eat for different meals, not eating the same thing for every meal for every day. Not the case for everybody, obviously, but I like having a little bit of variety. So do you use the Redline 360C as your everyday? Yeah, I mean, it's a nice go-to detector. Just put it up. It's just sort of takes care of itself. I don't have to worry about the phone. Just does the Wi-Fi stuff. I get the notifications of like, hey, there's a new database, and cool. I'll update it when I'm driving to daycare. Great. I do wish, though, something I wish about the detectors is I wish it still had the ability to detect radar properly when it's updating. I wish it could just be like, hey, I'm downloading this update in the background, and if I see a radar update, I'll let you know. Because otherwise, your detector is kind of out of commission for a couple minutes while you're waiting for it to update the red light camera database. So I wish that was different. Let's see. Now that it's getting cold here in Vermont, I can't get the DFR7 to stick to the windshield. Suction cups. Yeah, blend mount could be a solution, though that costs almost as much as the DFR7. I guess make sure your windshield is dry when you're trying to apply the suction cups. Make sure it's clean, and then try wetting the suction cups a little bit, and then just sticking it on, and it should stay. But yeah, sometimes heat or cold can cause the suction cups to fail. Rearview mirror mounts are sometimes a solution to that, or permanent 3M mounts. They sell on eBay. They feel like a couple bucks. You can get like a double stick tape mount, which is kind of a mount like this. It just double stick to the windshield, and then it has sort of the tongue sticking out for the radar detector to slide onto. That's way cheaper than a blend mount. That's another one too. But obviously you're sticking to the windshield instead of under the radar or under the rear view mirror. That's another option you can consider. So yeah, choose whichever one you want. Let's see. Chicago's Redflex red light cameras, false pulses of MRCD, much stronger than actual MRCDs from those ATS speed cameras. So they false. So I guess are you saying they're like much stronger and they give off a much stronger signal so you can pick them up farther away, but they false more? Or I'm not totally clear, Jacob, on what you're talking about. Excuse me. Let's see. DH2. I would have upgraded my V1 to the Gen 2, but they still aren't allowing upgrades. Looks like I'll spend my money on Thea instead. If you want a V1, sell it yourself. You can get more selling your V1 than what Valentine will give you. I think they give you like $110 or something, and you can sell it for more than that. Plus, you don't have to worry about the trade-in thing, which has been shut down for a couple months. So if you've got your heart set on a V1 Gen 2, that could be an option. I know it's not as easy as the trade-in, completely understand, but that's an option. Or, of course, you can wait on Thea, which, yeah, that's an option too. Let's see, Kingpin. Oh man, I grabbed a V1 Gen 2 and found out the hard way that my BMW windshield has a metallic film, causing the detector to not work. Couldn't imagine 2020 any other way. That's fun. Yeah, so it sounds like I guess you need a custom install detector. Renzo RCM, Escort Max CI 360, something like that. So, yeah, maybe you got a windshield. Yeah, you're going to need a custom installed one. Albus, you want to lick my hands? Of course. MRCD constant falsing on my Redline 360C. Turn it off. Turn it off anyway. The Redline 360C, I know Haywood actually tested that up in Edmonton a little while ago and found it was completely unable to alert to it in the first place. So that's, I think, something that needs to be addressed here by Escort. And it's kind of surprising considering the Max 360 series detectors actually did a pretty good job against the MRCD, but the Redline 360C did not detect it at all. So I figured turn off MRCD in the meantime if you've got the Redline 360C, because yeah, you're right. Otherwise, you're just going to be getting false alerts. So sucks. But hey, there you go. I guess best thing we can do in the meantime. Richie, thanks for the advice on the A129. Yes, if you want to go pick one up, the single channel version, front only, it's like $40 off on Amazon. Just go over to my website on the Black Friday thing. Hopefully that deal is still running. I know there's like free hardwire kits and stuff now, and well, you want to lick me? He always wants to give me kisses and stuff, but I'm like, quit licking my hands. There's going to be like better deals, I believe, for Black Friday, better than what's available now. So hint, if you want one, you want to wait a couple days, there's some deals now for like free hardwire kits, but that may be better come Black Friday. Just leave it at that. Let's see. Redline 360C firmware 1.5 soon. Any news on that? Nothing that I've shared above and beyond already. There's an update coming. I don't know exactly what they're going to be working on for that specific update, and I don't know when it's going to be available either. I know they're even out of stock right now, so who knows how the pandemic is adjusting things or affecting things. But yeah, hopefully we get the update soon. Motorcycle is life. Is the Unit R3 still a good purchase? Absolutely. At $300 or so, Hopefully it'll be a better deal for Black Friday. I think I looked earlier and it was like $273 or something, which is not that great of a deal. It's good compared to where it normally is, but it's not like amazing. But yeah, if you want one, hopefully we'll see a really good deal for the R3. It's funny, the R7, I know for Prime Day, we saw it down to like 420. I think it even dipped to 400 or so. And it never really, I guess it's not technically going on sale, but the prices are fluctuating. And I'm like, hey, if the prices are low, you can get one. It's kind of like a Black Friday deal, even though it's technically not a Black Friday deal. And so I talked about it in the Black Friday video because it went down to like 423 or something. And then I go to like get the screenshot for the video and I'm looking at it and it's like 460, 470 or something. And I'm like, well, it's cheaper than 500, but it's still not a great deal. And so in the video, I'm like, okay, hey, it's on sale. And it's a little awkward because it's not really that cheap, but hopefully it gets cheaper for Black Friday. But it's just one of those weird things where like, hopefully it just happens to drop really cheap for Black Friday just because things do that. So I guess we'll see. And same thing with the R3. My Pro M does not alert to MRCD in Edmonton as much as it used to. Is it like, was there a firmware update to improve the filtering, or are there fewer MRCD trucks, or does it just not detect as well or something? Because traditionally the Pro M is going to be pretty solid against those MRCD trucks. Let's see. Should you buy a radar detector on Black Friday or Cyber Monday? I think that'll be a good time to. I do know of some more coming that I don't know the details of yet, but I do know that there's going to be some more Black Friday stuff coming up. So keep an eye out for it. You may see some really nice stuff too. And I'll be posting that stuff on my website. So as soon as I know about that, I'll just update my website there. So once we get into like, you know, I know some stuff is going to start getting posted early on like the 22nd and the 23rd for dash cams. I don't know exactly when they're going to start posting stuff for radar detectors, but obviously once we get to Black Friday on Friday, I'll have all the latest information posted up there. It'll be a day where I'm just like hanging out like this in front of the computer. And instead of live streaming, I'll be sitting here with my coffee and being like, oh, cool. Hey, this deal popped up. Update the website. So I'll keep you guys posted there. Let's see. Have you ever tested any of the circular polarizer filters on dash cams? Yes, I run it on the Blackview pretty much full time. I do take it off sometimes. I run it permanently on my ThinkWare, and I have it sitting right there on the for the VFOs. Overall, I like it. It's definitely helpful to help kill the reflections off of your windshield, so your dash cam is better able to see the road ahead of you. So I recommend running it. The reason I say I take it off sometimes is it does block some light and it can negatively impact low light sensitivity. And if you're running a dash cam who's not the most sensitive, like the Blackviews when it comes to low light stuff, and you happen to live in Seattle, which is kind of northern in latitude, and you get into winter to where it's dark a lot, maybe instead of the low light stuff or like the glare stuff, you're more concerned about low light sensitivity. In that situation, I take off the polarizer. But so for the winter, I've been taking it off more, but more in the summer where there's more light and stuff, I tend to run the polarizer on more. But overall, I think it's a great option just to help it cut down on glare and just see the road ahead better. I feel like I'm kind of procrastinating still because I should be getting back to like a video to edit, but I've just been trudging along with it for so long that I'm like, oh, this is fun. We'll just keep live streaming and hanging out. So let's see. Hey, Rye, looking to pick up an accurate radar detector today. Any good recommendations for accuracy? Can you define, Rye, what you mean by accuracy? Do you just mean like no false alerts and alerts to police radar, or are you okay with using a phone versus not using a phone? Do you want the detector to do it all? I know we're going to start to go down that rabbit hole, but let's no false alerts. There is no detector that is immune to false alerts. I find the V1 Gen 2 to be pretty good, but the latest update that just came out earlier this week kind of broke that, and people are finding a lot more false alerts now, so that's kind of mixed it up. I've been seeing lately a lot of detectors tend to be falsing more. My Redline 360C falses more. The V1 Gen 2, even before the update, was falsing more. The Max 360C or my R7 or the Pro M, like I'm seeing more falses, and I know a lot of other people have been speculating on that too, seeing that, and we've been speculating that it has to do with cars coming out with new BSMs or something. Like a lot of us are just seeing more false alerts. So I know you were asking today. I don't know if I have a great answer because it seems like things have been changing recently, and it's kind of mixing things up. Like, we didn't say the Pro M, it's good, but I've been seeing more false alerts on the Pro M or the RCM, and I'm like, are other detectors quieter than the RCM now? I'm beginning to think so. So things are changing, and I say if you don't need a detector today, maybe hold off on Thea. It seems like that's going to be coming out soon. Hopefully, they're saying by the end of the year. And if you're looking for something to be accurate, that should be the best. I can't say that definitively because it's not out yet. We haven't tested it, all that kind of stuff, right? All that. But that's something. And budget blind, do you think that Thea will have a lot of glitches? That's why the delay. Rob hasn't been on the forums, must be having issues. So I don't work at Redenso. I can't tell you. They have mentioned that one of the reasons they stopped doing the videos so much is like they're having to, it's crunch time right now, trying to get it out by the end of the year. Development takes time. Cool. To do the videos, they have to pull the engineers off of development in order to sit down and do the videos together. All the prep for the video, which takes a lot of time. It's not just sit in front of a video or a camera and record for 20 minutes. Like there's a lot that's involved there for pre-video prep, shooting the video, doing multiple takes, taking breaks, and then all the post stuff afterwards. But I guess the engineer doesn't necessarily have to be there unless they're getting B-roll or whatever. Videos take a lot of time. And so to pull the engineers off of development to focus on videos is going to take away from development. And I think that's been a part of the reason why Rob hasn't been as active on the forums, why he hasn't been as active in the videos. So they're focused on getting the detector out, and they seem determined to get it out by the end of the year. I know some people are getting more and more skeptical, completely understandable. So we'll have to see when it launches. You know, are there any big glitches like what we saw with the Redline 360C or with the V1 Gen 2? Maybe it's going to be Redenso's first detector that they're releasing themselves. I would be surprised if it's perfect out of the gate. But just with all the pandemic going on, with everything, I think there's a lot of question marks. And so, yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty. But that one seems to have the most promise, but we'll have to see once it's released. Does it actually filter out all BSMs? Is it truly capable of living up to all the hype, you know? We'll see. Does it have some major issues that were unexpected that we don't see until we get them in our hands? You know, there's a lot of question marks there that we just don't know. So we'll have to see. But I know you were asking earlier before we kind of went down that tangent a little bit. The best detector today, I'm not as sure anymore because it seems like a lot of detectors are falsing more than they were a few months ago. So interesting stuff. Things are always changing. Things are always changing. I imagine even if Thea comes out tomorrow, there will be some kind of delay due to demand. We probably won't see it until March. That could be interesting. I know V1s are going on back orders. Like they're not able to do the trade-ins just due to their supplies of getting like the magnesium cases. Or I think Redline 360C is on back order as well. Just supply chain stuff has got to be such an issue that I'm sure that's going to affect Thea just like it affects everything else. So yes, that's a thing too. So I'm really curious to see what it's going to be like. Like you guys remember when the R7s came out and the R3s, like you could pre-order them, you could get them, and they were out of stock for a while. Yes, David saying Redline 360C was on back order for so long. It was like I was able to get one like with the pre-order, and they quickly sold out. And I was like, okay, I need to send it out to other people so they can test it. I'm doing my testing, and it was tough to get testing done initially because so few people were able to get them, and it was just out of stock and on back order for a while. And so this might be a similar thing to where if you really want one, when pre-orders are available, get one. But at the same time, we don't know, are there going to be issues? Should you wait to see initial testing before you pre-order? You know, that's going to be an interesting thing. What happens if the testing comes out and shows that there's big issues? Or what happens if it shows that things are great and you're like, awesome, I want to get one, but I can't because they're in back order for 3 months, you know? It's going to be an interesting thing just to see what the launch is like. Is it good? Does it live up to expectations? Are there going to be inventory and availability issues due to supply chain, due to demand? Like, I think there's a lot of question marks and uncertainty right now. So yeah, I wish I had a crystal ball for you guys, you know, be able to predict this stuff. Eric Jones, best detector or settings for the Cannonball run attempt? If it was up to me, I would probably run like a V1 Gen 2. Okay, so caveat of this changed a few days ago with the latest update, which now made it seems like it falses a lot more on BSMs. But before that update, my answer was for that, like best detector for cross-country run, essentially. V1 Gen 2, fantastic range, pretty good BSM filtering. JBV1 integration is fantastic for cross-country run. Pair it with ALP, awesome. If I was to do a cross-country run, V1 Gen 2, JBV1, ALP, Done. That would be my setup of choice. Plus, you can also configure JBD1 to automatically reprogram your detector as you go through different areas. So if you want to crank up the filtering for certain areas, if you want to turn on X-band for certain states, like you go through Ohio and then turn it off when you leave it, JBD1 can take care of that for you. So when you're driving cross country, you don't have to worry about all the detector programming stuff. It can take care of that for you. Like it's the best that I've seen. Is it perfect? No detector is, but kind of the best of the available options. That's what I would go for. And then, I mean, yeah, there's the new update that came out. Now there's more K-band falses, which sucks. But up to that point, that's kind of what I would say. If I was to go for it, that's what I would use. Let's see. Zelchko Krupetic. Sorry if I kind of botched your name a little bit. That's a cool name. Are you Czech, or I'm curious where you're from? Pretty cool name. Anyway, if Thea will hit the market by the end of the year, it should be done at least 3 months before the end of the year. Testing and production takes a lot of time. Yeah, it sounds like you know better than I do as far as developmental stuff. Croatia. Hey, what's up? You may know better than I do with kind of the logistics of getting everything manufactured and lead times and getting things boxed and shipped. And maybe 3 months is a reasonable lead time. Hopefully Redenso is able to keep up. Maybe it's compressed due to COVID delays, or I don't know. But yeah, hopefully they're able to still get it out on time, and hopefully they've got everything in the works to make that happen. Blip Films. I'm on the fence of just getting the Redline 360C and selling the V1 just because it's a little high maintenance, but I don't know. It can be. Initial setup is a little bit tougher. There's more that's involved, and depending on if you're an iPhone user or an Android and how you run your phones, it can be high maintenance. For other people, get in your car, V1 driver can connect in the background from your pocket. Boom. You don't have to mess with it. Just get it set up. It takes care of all your lockouts and everything in the background. Great. You can do the same thing with JBD1 and just have it set up to automatically connect. Start up when you start your car, connect, take care of your lockouts. It can do overlays from the background, takes care of all that, and then shuts down when you're done. There is some more initial setup, but once you get it set up, it doesn't necessarily have to be high maintenance. If you run into, like, you're an iPhone guy and you really want JBD1 for the second phone and then extra phone mounts and all that kind of stuff, yes, that can be a little bit high maintenance, but not everybody necessarily needs to go down that route. I totally understand. So it can vary. Mo, hey, thanks for the super chat donation, Mo. I appreciate that. Thanks for answering my questions today. You're welcome. I owe all my countermeasure and detection enthusiasm to you. Just wanted to say thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. And honestly, I get a lot of my enthusiasm from you too. It's nice just to have other people to talk to about this stuff and not just like blindly writing reviews or driving around with this stuff. Like, hey, I'm driving around with it. I've got cameras running everywhere to give the stuff to you guys and make it all available. So I'm really glad to hear you enjoy it. It's very rewarding and fulfilling for me too. So I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I love enjoying it too. And yeah, I'm just glad when this works for everybody. So let's see. So yeah. And yeah, thanks. You're welcome. All that jazz. Blip Films. I guess continuing that V1 high maintenance discussion. I have an Android for it specifically connected to my service, actually. Sometimes I have so many K-falses blowing my screen up. One thing I don't like is the K-falses from cars. Yeah, try setting it to advanced logic mode, the big L, and get JBV1 running in the background to take care of your low-speed muting and your GPS lockouts. That can be really helpful. So I would do that. Okay, where was the question? GT Pro, is there a best dash cam for being parked to watch over your car while it's being parked for 12 plus hours? So let's get into that discussion real quick. Okay, best parking mode, black view and thinkware. If you want buffered parking recording, I normally would recommend, okay, VFOs can do that. They can give you your buffered parking recording, but they don't give you the event notifications of when you're back in the car of when something happened. I like the black view specifically for the event notifications, and I like the cloud stuff. If you have a Wi-Fi hotspot in your car while you're parked, if something happens to your car, you get a notification to your phone. You can see it immediately. You can see the picture. You can see the video. You got the video footage saved. Dash cam gets stolen. Car gets broken into. Whatever. You got the video pushed to the cloud. Awesome. Not everybody needs that. Not concerned about that. You just wanted to record. Great. the U1000 can be pretty good too. That has a nice low power mode to give you extended parking recording capabilities. I've got it in my mom's car, and compared to my car where I get maybe 20 hours of record time, for hers, it records day after day, like 4, 5, 6 days straight with the U1000. So extended parking record times. I know you were asking 12 plus hours. You can get a lot more with ThinkWare, but you run into some weird things to where you get non-buffered parking recording unless you add the radar module. Then you can get buffered parked recording for extended periods of times, but only in the front and not the rear. So it's kind of a weird compromise. My mom's car actually got rear-ended the other day. She had the radar module. She got rear-ended from behind, and it was non-buffered. We did get the video of the person hitting the car and then backing up, and you can see most of the plate there. And so that was really nice. Better than nothing, of course, but the low-powered parking recording lets you record for a really long period of time. As far as the battery packs, the CellLink Neo is kind of the go-to solution for ThinkWares, or for the VFOs. If you're running the Blackview B124X is usually the way to go. There is a new battery that was just released that I have not done a review on yet. On the list, I'll grab it real quick. Sorry, buddy. He's really good about waking up when I'm asleep. It's over here. Grab these. Okay, so I guess one of the nice things about live streams is I can just like, hey, let's talk about stuff, but I haven't done the proper video and getting all the numbers and fancy overlays and B-roll and stuff. Let's see, this is the battery and the expansion. So there's a new one. It's coming out. Let's pull it out here real quick. Unbox. The battery or the expansion? This is the regular battery. The expansion is in here. It's same idea, just with a few fewer ports. But there's another one, Black Box My Car, not sponsored, whatever. They did send it to me for free. Cool, but Blackview sent me one, whatever. So this one, it's the new battery pack. This seems to be kind of the new best battery pack to get. It's a few bucks more. I think like maybe 30, 40 bucks more than the CellLink Neo or something. A little bit thinner, a little bit longer this direction. But the benefits are larger capacity and faster recharge times. It's actually got 2 ports to plug in. So if you want extended parking record, it can charge here and charge here, kind of 2. So it's going to have like 2 inputs. And then you got your expansions and stuff too. But basically it's larger capacity, but still recharges in about an hour, I believe, but gives you maybe 25% more record time than like the CellLink Neo will. Thinner case, a little bit longer, 30, 40 bucks more or something. So I would love to swap this into my car, but because it's a little bit longer this way and I have my battery stacked vertically, I can't take out the old batteries and put it in the new ones because it's a little bit too tall this way. But anyway, these seem to be kind of like one of the new go-tos. The thinner thing is nice in case you're putting it under your seat. Some seats are like super short, so it just makes it easier to fit under the seat. But these seem to be kind of the new like go-to batteries to get if you're kind of looking for the best. But the CellLink Neo is still a good option. ThinkWare has the ThinkWare BAB, which is smaller capacity, a little cheaper. Different battery packs. I feel like I need to do an updated video on batteries, but it's just so much. So I've kind of been thinking about doing like more written articles just to try to get this content out for you because I can't get the videos out fast enough and often enough. It's just kind of become too much. So I'm thinking about just like sort of doing more articles. Like I just did the M1 article. I don't know if I'm going to do a video, just like, hey, at least I got something out and I can start checking off stuff that's been on my to-do list for like a year or two. So at least I can get something out finally. So anyway, yeah, those battery packs kind of seem to be some of the best ones. I'd probably rate that. Tom, hey, what's up, Tom? Good to see you. Whenever I see your name spinner, I always think of your avatar in RDF with all the like radar guns and stuff. Let's see, Nick. Do they use KA speed monitoring at Easy Pass booths? I always get blasted with 34703 at Easy Pass booths. I don't know if they do it for any speed enforcement, but there are some speed signs that I've seen from Stalker. I know we were discussing that on the forums recently. I've seen some out in like middle of nowhere, Utah or something, and there was even one around here in Washington. I saw a remote speed sign. If you go look on Stalker's website, they don't have any posted, but they do have some 24/7 speed signs and remote monitoring. But yes, I don't know if that's for speed enforcement or issuing traffic or how it's being used on the back end, but usually it's Stalker police grade antennas. They can be plugged into speed signs or radar guns or traffic monitoring and stuff. So it's kind of tough to tell the difference from the radar detector's perspective because it's the same antenna. Let's see. Motorcycle is life. How long does pre-orders take when radar detectors are released? I hate to pre-order Thea and it doesn't ship to me till May. Yeah, so that totally depends. Sometimes it's a couple weeks. I know usually the case is it can't be more than a month because a lot of times you'll find that credit card authorizations, if they charge your card for pre-order, that charge is only good for like 30 days, and sometimes they charge your card that day, sometimes it's when they ship, and there's issues if they wait more than a month, then they're going to have to like re-get your credit card information. It becomes a hassle. So usually they're going to say, why are my lights turning on and changing colors? Or is that the white balance? I think that's sunshine is changing this way. Usually it's going to be less than a month just due to credit card authorization stuff between when the pre-orders happen and when the detector is going to start to ship. But then they're going to run into, what's it called? Other stuff with, yes, there's pre-orders, there's only so much inventory, and then they run out of pre-orders and they got to wait for another batch, which could be a month or two. I have seen that with detectors in the past. So sometimes if it's something where you're set on getting it, I know it's questionable because you may not know, is it going to work perfectly and all that kind of stuff. But if you're set, sometimes it's a good idea to get just when it's available for pre-order, and I'll definitely let you know, don't worry. Get in line because I've just seen that happen a bunch of times. But at the same time, I've also seen issues to where the initial batches can have issues. So it's tough to say definitively either way, Yeah. It's content. So it's funny. We had a power outage here the other day, just storms and the lights flickered. These lights up above my head, for Halloween, I take out these lights. They're different. I can make them change colors and stuff, like the Philips Hue ones. And so I take them and then I swap them out for some of the lights that we have outside, and I'll set them to like red and orange. And I'll take some of the lights here that I use as background ones, and I'll set up in the house to make like spooky orange lights or green lights and stuff, just to help make things fun for kids. And I would set it up to when those lights by default would switch to like red and orange and stuff. And so something that would happen is I still had that set. Eventually Halloween ended. I took those lights, put them back in here in my ceiling. But then the power flicker, lights turn off and they turn back on, and suddenly they turn red. And it looks like one of those things to where power is failing and danger. The lights in my office all start turning red. And I'm like, what's going on? Is there an emergency or something? And then I remembered that I defaulted to switch them to red. And I'm like, oh, right. I needed to turn off my Halloween customizations because I'm using them as my office lights and not my Halloween lights anymore. So that was actually my first thought when I saw it starting to turn red. I'm like, I thought I disabled that already, but whatever, behind the scenes stuff. The more you know. Let's see. I actually just switched some of these lights because I would get weird flicker for the Philips Hue depending on the shutter speed and stuff. Sargon Smith, have you done anything with the Rocky Mountain Radar Judge 2.0? So I did some testing with the original version of the Judge. Scrambling stuff, so you can see it doesn't work. Radar, laser, all that. Then they came out with the Judge 2.0, which was just a firmware update to add like band segmentation and a few different features. Didn't affect the scrambling stuff. I meant to test it in my latest test, but I forgot it right there on the shelf. It's hidden behind the laser guns right there, and I just forgot to grab it. I meant to go retest it. I had, though, previously sent it to somebody else, I think Transporter on RDF, so he had a chance to test it. I posted those results a few months ago. It did not do well in terms of long-range performance. It got beat out by a lot of other detectors. So from what we've seen so far with the Judge, doesn't scramble. No surprise. Performance is not that great. So I have it. I have one. And it's just next time I plan on going out and doing a test or something, I'll grab it. But it's not something that I really want to focus a lot of time on. But yeah, I've got one just sitting right there. Matt Castle, I have the 9500iX from Escort. I know it's pretty old. Thinking about going as the R3. It's an upgrade for my Focus RS. Great car, by the way. Is it even relevant anymore? I mean, it still works. It's not going to have the most modern false alert filtering. So if you want something with a little better, okay, R3 versus 9500X. Longer range, think better BSM filtering, manual GPS lockouts instead of auto, and RDD immune if you need that. The main thing would be was like, hey, if you want a little better false alert filtering, BSM filtering, you want longer range especially, and you want better reactivity against brief shots, the R3 is going to be better there. And if you like, polite response without saying the Judge sucks. The Judge sucks. It does. Yes, I'll just say that. But yeah, R3 versus 9500iX. Yeah, if you want longer range, totally upgrade. You're going to be sacrificing your auto lockouts and instead getting the manual lockouts. But if you're cool with just manually creating your lockouts initially, yeah, you'll get a better performing detector. How well do the detectors work in the twisty mountains? Do they need a straight path, or can you get a reading behind a mountain turn? You can get readings kind of around bends. It's tougher. That is a situation where you're really going to want a sensitive detector, an R1, an R3, an R7, a V1 Gen 2, a Redline 360C, like a top-notch detector. That's when you really, really want some like strong sensitivity, because detecting stuff around a bend is difficult. And especially if you've got instant on, and we were talking about instant on in North Carolina. Somebody mentioned they just got like a V1 Gen 2, a 10-second warning in the mountains in North Carolina, and they were thrilled with that. And I was like, that's awesome. Yeah, in the mountains, it's a tough situation. And that's really where you want a sensitive detector. Not so much for the, I know we were talking earlier in the 9-mile detection in Nevada. Okay, you don't need a V1 Gen 2 or something super sensitive when easier situations can still give you plenty of warning. But it's when you get into those tougher situations that you find the detectors really start to differentiate sensitive versus not so sensitive. JW Jazz, getting my R7 today, using your guide to set it up. Can't wait. Oh, congratulations on your R7. Can a future update of the R7 make it RDD immune? I don't think that's something that you can change with a software update, unfortunately. I believe that it's going to be a hardware thing. My best guess, but I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. But I hope to be wrong. I'd love to see them release an update that just magically improves RDD immunity. But I don't think, unless they want to change, I guess, how the LO operates, but then you look into hardware and yeah. I should set my watch here too. Do not disturb. So there we go. Boop. So the notifications quit buzzing me, and for, I guess, privacy and stuff. Yeah, RDD is a hardware feature. Yeah. GT Pro, my R7 was great for going around a bend on a freeway with an embankment and a wall. Totally. Those are situations where the really sensitive detectors are going to shine. What's your favorite Redline 360C display setting? I've been running it in just spec mode. Spec FR1 and FR2, I don't find it to be as useful. I did for a while. I ran those, maybe spec FR2 to see multiple signals. Cool. Or spec FR1 just to try to watch front and rear signal strength changing and stuff. But at this point, I just run spec mode and just let the arrows themselves take care of direction. I just want to know the signal strength. So that's the way that I run it. Terry, how's the baby? Oh, thanks for asking. She's been sick since like Monday of last week, throwing up and lots of blowouts and poopy diapers. I took her to the doctor the other day. So she had to stay home for a while just because she was pooping so much and blowouts. And today's actually her first day back at daycare. And we got a call. She's pooping a lot. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but we got the doctor's note that she's okay and she's not contagious, but it's sanitation stuff. And it's a thing. We're just hoping that she heals. It just seems like she's got some viral stomach thing that she just needs to work through that is getting taken care of, and her intestines are healing and stuff. She's okay. Mommy caught the same bug. She was sick for a couple days. My mom had a cold for a while. So it was just kind of like, I was the only person here who managed to stay healthy the whole time. It's been a thing. So, for the most part, we're doing okay. Yeah, I know it's kind of crazy times now with lockdowns and pandemics, but how are you guys doing with all the pandemic stuff? Hopefully this is a nice distraction or something enjoyable that we can have something good here in 2020. Is just we get to hang out and chat. I know we're actually talking about doing like a Zoom call maybe tomorrow or something. We're just going to have a chance to hang out and chat some more because this is kind of fun. So, but yeah, how are you guys doing with the pandemic and coping? Are you guys, I know some of you are back to work. Some are you working from home. Some are out of work. Like we got health stuff and yeah. So I'm kind of curious, you guys, your experiences too. Let's see. Thoughts on price drops for radar detectors after Thea drops. That could be interesting. I think the Redline 360C is probably going to be the one that's affected the most because that's kind of your high-end detector. And Thea, I have to see, but I think it should pretty much clobber it in just about every area. Also RDD immune, also has arrows, also, it's got Bluetooth, but an open API, better range, better VSM filtering. Cool. The other detectors, Thea, it's going to be more expensive. And there's still going to be a place for detectors that are $500, that are $300, that are $200. People are going to say, I get Thea's better, but I don't want to spend whatever Thea costs. $200 is my budget. $500 is all I'm willing to spend. Great. There's still going to be a place for those detectors. So I just think it's the detectors that are kind of closest in price point and features that are going to be most directly competitive to Thea that are the ones that are going to be the most affected by it. Yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts on that. So I'm kind of checking out. Let's see. Been working from home and gave me the opportunity to take a 3-month camping trip. Oh, nice. How was that? Did you go 3 months straight camping, or did you like just go every weekend? I've gone camping for a month straight. That was kind of interesting. Packed a lot of food in my Subaru and just went solo in California. That was kind of fun. So yeah, tell me about your 3-month camping trip. That sounds like quite an adventure. Let's see. My hopes for Thea went away when my wife lost a job for 2 months ago. Thanks, COVID. Oh man, I'm so sorry, families. I hope she's able to find another job, or you guys are able to cope or something. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Smoke Poem. Let's see, 6,500 miles on the RV, another 5,000 on the road. Wow. Okay, so you're legit camping for 3 months straight. What's it like RV camping? I've always done like, car camping or backpacking. I've never done the RV thing. 15 national parks across 12 states. That's got to be so much fun. And this is the time to do it. Like, wow. That sounds amazing. Let's see, GT Pro. I work in manufacturing and still have a job like normal, so I try not to complain. Oh, that's nice. You're really fortunate. I'm glad that you do. That's great. Are you guys able to stay safe? I know you're probably like all masked up and stuff, or keep your distance. Eric, thanks for the super chat donation. I appreciate it. With the mic drop. That's funny. The pair mic drop thing. Man down. Yeah, I had to dig into my savings account being laid off since March, so Thea will be put on the back burner for now. I completely understand. Yeah, Eric, got to run. See you next time. Yeah, see you later, Eric. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah. Let's see. Tom, states going backwards. New mandates starting tomorrow. Totally. I get it. You look at the COVID curves and it's like crazy. I know, what was it? Idaho and Oregon started going into lockdowns, sort of lockdowns first. And then Washington, a few days later here, we started getting our restrictions this week, actually. So it's a thing. Zach, currently have Passport 9500 CI with laser jammers. I'm curious if it's still a reliable detector. It's still going to detect radar. I mean, still great performance on radar. Not the greatest BSM filtering. You got your auto lockouts. The laser jammers, no updates, not able to handle the latest guns. But if the officers still use older laser guns in your area, your laser jammer, will still continue to function. But I guess, Zach, where do you drive? Maybe that would help sort of give a little bit better answer instead of a kind of generic one. Gunnar, how much do you think Thea will cost? We don't really know. I mean, the estimate is the best we know right now is $750 to $1,000. That's the range that we know. Oof, Zach, Georgia and Florida, dude, you're in Dragon Eye Central there. Yeah, for laser, you're facing guns that the 9500 CI cannot detect, much less jam. So if you face a lot of laser, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and update your jammers. I mean, it's still going to work for radar. And yes, you have K-band there, so a lot of K-band falses, but the laser is probably going to be your biggest issue with the 9500 CI. Did you ever get to use one of the active radar phantom jammers back in the day before the FCC outlawed? Yeah. Never published the results. Haven't really talked about it too much. I mean, yeah. There were limitations with the newer radar guns that weren't able to jam it, and they would go out of tune. You had to get it tuned, and it was tough to like go in and get the little set screw that you would have to adjust to try to get it, back in tune and stuff. But then the newer guns wouldn't work really well. And yeah. I mean, yeah, you got the outlaw issues, you got the technical issues. Yeah, there was the Phantom and the Scorpion, I believe, were the two. Like one was X and K, the other was XK and KA. And there's also like the Blue Raider, which never came to the US. That was more an international one. There were issues, especially on K-band with that one. So yeah, a lot of the radar jamming stuff, technical issues, and obviously the FCC outlawing them. Just laser jamming, yes, but no radar detection or no radar jamming. Let's see, GT Pro. Let's see. Well, they've allegedly put provisions in place, and we were inspected by the county. But other than masks, it doesn't feel like they've changed anything. Now, sort of. Wow. I guess what kind of manufacturing, and you don't have to say, of course, if it's an issue of privacy, I kind of understand, but it's interesting that you're able to manufacture. Maybe you guys are spaced out far enough to where you have social distancing in place already, or I'm kind of curious how that works. Tom, Phantom drifted too much. Needed a heated crystal setup. Yeah. It was an issue with that. And I know sending it back would be an issue or trying to do it yourself. So, Curtis, what's the topic today? Not really. It's kind of like Seinfeld. It's a show about nothing. It's a live stream about nothing. We're just hanging out, chatting about whatever. I guess we're talking about radar jammers and social distancing for manufacturing and just random stuff. Mike, seems not as much giveaway items this year compared to last. Yeah. So the ones that I'm doing right now, I've got some for Black Friday. I've got some more giveaways. The big end of the year giveaway, I know there's going to be some more stuff coming for that. I don't know if it's going to be as big as last year, to be honest. I haven't gotten all that stuff planned, but there's going to be more giveaways in addition to the Blackview one and the Escort radar detector and the Escort dash cam and the Cobra dash cam. So 4 things currently available on giveaway, and there's more stuff coming too. I want to do I know I was talking to, what was it? Next Base, their new 622 GW. That one seems pretty cool as well. I'm going to have a giveaway coming for that as well. So yeah, there's definitely more stuff to come. But I know right now it's just Thea. And the giveaways are just a fun thing to do in addition to it. But yeah. Actually, I have a question for you guys. So with giveaways, is it bad if I give away older detectors that aren't really as great anymore? Like that, I don't know, let's say I have a couple detectors that I don't really need anymore. I don't plan on testing, like let's say an old Whistler CR93. I've got a CR97, I don't need the CR93, and I don't really plan on using it anymore. If I give it away, I don't want to be like, hey, I'm giving you the stuff that I don't need, and it's not necessarily that great, it's not new, it's not up to date, but I know some people would really like it, and it's free, and I'm like, cool, free as in free stuff. As in, yes, you enter a giveaway and I just randomly pick somebody to send it to. It's not the greatest, but I don't want to be like, I'm giving you guys my stuff that's not as great. Okay, Trevor, yeah, good for backups to have a second car. Definitely give it away. Yeah, okay. So I try to give away like the newest, latest, and greatest stuff. You know, like somebody's giving away for a new iPhone. It's like, give away the new iPhone 12 Pro. Don't give away an iPhone 6 or something, you know? But like, I guess with radar detectors, an older, couple years old radar detector is a lot better than like a 10-year-old iPhone or something. So, okay, I'll take a Max 360 or an R7 or something. Yeah, nothing wrong with being honest about giving away. Okay, yeah, that's fair. I mean, the giveaways now are like brand new stuff, current stuff. And some of the stuff is older. Like I've got my DR750S. Maybe I'll give that away when I replace it with the DR900X. It's not the latest and greatest. And okay, I'll just be upfront about it. And that'll just be one of the bonus giveaways of like, give away some of my old stuff that I don't need anymore. And maybe that'll be separate in addition to all the new stuff. So I'll think about it. I guess as I get new gear, I've honestly felt a little bit bad about it, but you guys seem stoked about it. Heck no, free is free. Okay. Give the recipient the option of passing on it. That's fair. I do actually do that with some of the stuff. Live stream giveaway. Maybe I can do that instead of just do like a big giveaway. I've seen some people do things like, you know, on Twitter, just little giveaways here and there. Maybe I'll do that and just be like, hey, I'll give away this, whoever's tuned in. Do I have anything? I don't know if I have anything at the moment. I have to think about it and plan. Getting dog hair in my mouth. Thanks, Alice. I'm getting your hair. Focus, camera. There we go. Okay. And the focusing work again. I grew up poor, so I'm used to hand-me-downs. So let's see. We support you. Don't feel bad. Screw the haters. Well, no. I just really want to create the best experience for you guys. And that's my only limitation. I don't want to feel like I'm giving you guys junk. It's not junk. It's just not necessarily the latest and greatest sometimes. So anyway, sounds like you guys are on board with that. So, okay. Maybe I'll try to give away some extra stuff in addition to like the new stuff. Maybe I'll kind of toss in some older stuff too. So, okay. So yeah, you guys, it seems like almost unanimously saying yes. So, okay. Thanks. Yeah. I feel better about doing that now. So thanks for your feedback. I appreciate that. As long as it's better than the R1. Some of it will be, some of it won't be, depending on your case. Okay, cool. Okay, so thanks for that. Chris, do you have any insight into Escort releasing 1.5 other than their old posts on the forum? I don't, unfortunately. I'm still waiting just like you guys. I don't have any additional information on that, unfortunately, at this time. Hopefully they'll release it soon. I know Ohio just started going into like lockdown again, and so that's probably going to affect things too. So and obviously escorts in Ohio and, well, in Illinois. So yeah, we'll see, I guess, how that affects 1.5. Jesse, any news on Thea? They released some pictures of their internals. I posted a link in the video description. You can take a look at that. So if you want to see the guts of Thea, but as far as availability or price point, we still don't know that yet, unfortunately. Trevor is trying to refer to my Judge comment. Do you mean as far as giving away junk stuff? Yeah, I'm not going to give you guys junk. Yeah, I'm not going to give away that Judge. That's just a fun one from like, okay, if I ever need to do some stuff or throw it in when I do another test, it's just there. Scott, thoughts on 5G? I don't know if it's going to affect our stuff too much. Maybe it could be something interesting with like quality cloud connected stuff. Maybe Blackview would benefit from that the most with getting like faster uploads as 5G starts to spread. They just released what is it? They're like DR752 channel LTE, which uses 4G LTE. So they would then have to come out with a new version. So it's probably going to be in a year or two if they do it, kind of successive generations. Blackview would probably be the first company to do any sort of 5G, just considering how much they've been pushing the cloud stuff. As far as radar, I don't know how much it would impact stuff. Is there a huge, I mean, Escort, I guess, does their connect stuff, but they do Wi-Fi in the car. I know 5G, one of the big things is making like, maybe cars could then start all talking to each other because the cars could all be connected. So you have like networked cars adjusting, flowing together for traffic or there's been discussion about that, but I don't know how much it would affect our radar stuff. Bobby just posted, John just posted an RDF. The detector is the same width as the Redline 360C. Great. That's cool. That's really cool. That's good to know. Just trying to think if that would fit above my rearview mirror because the Redline 360C, I don't like the mount. It's sort of the way it fits there. I can't quite get my rearview mirror in place, but that's more mount than it is width. So anyway. Trevor, what cameras do you use for filming? For this, I'm recording on like a Logitech 4K webcam or something. I forget what it's called. My videos that I do here in the car, it's on the Sony A7 III. Oh, here we go. A7 III right there with like a small HD screen on top. Oh, that's funny. When I'm pointing, I guess parallax. There we go. So I use that. I still have like an old tripod that I use. It's for still photography. I'd like to eventually upgrade to like a video tripod and a video head, and a better mic. My old light stand is there. Anyway, places to invest money, you know. I record a lot of stuff on my GoPros. I've got the Hero 9s that I just upgraded to. Okay, sorry, buddy. Let's go over here. Okay. He's pretty good about hanging out on my lap, even when I'm moving around my office. You can adjust yourself. Okay, so I used to use the GoPro 7s. I just upgraded to a pair of GoPro 9s. I've been meaning to sell my 7s. I just haven't gotten around to it. Some nice upgrades with the GoPro 9s, but the screens suck on these, so they're kind of a pain to use. But luckily, I use mostly the Wi-Fi. It's got the front screens now, just 5K instead of 4K and better image stabilization. But here, I guess I can show you. The front screen is kind of nice. Maybe I can do like, there's the webcam that I'm using. Does that work? Here, focus. Kind of like a mirror. There we go. So you can see the webcam sitting on top of my monitor. So anyway, GoPro Hero 9s, I've been doing that. And the screen is nice when I'm like doing the stuff there just to get it aimed in the car. But size doesn't matter. Yeah, the GoPro 9s are a little bit bigger than the 7s. So 7, 9. Nice. Got 2 of each. So eventually I'm planning on selling the 7s. Omar, let me know when you sell your 7s. I'm interested. Yeah, I mean, I need to sell them eventually. I've got like spare battery packs and all the stuff and some accessories. So if you want one, let me know. I don't know, a good price, maybe like $200 each. I figured maybe around there. But I know, I think you're in Mexico though, right? I know shipping sometimes internationally can be a bit of a struggle. We actually had an issue with that with the Redline 360C, trying to get that up to Canada to test. That took like a month between just, I don't know, I guess COVID stuff, like issues. Oh, you're in Texas. Okay, yeah, that'll be easier. Shoot me a message. We can talk. If you want the 7s, I've got 2 of them. Let me know. Getting stuff up to, like, went up there and then it got returned, and it got returned to the wrong post office. And then, so like, got denied going to Canada, and then finally eventually got shipped up to Canada, but then had to pay like extra customs duties and stuff. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. He used to get like super excited whenever somebody's at the front door and start like barking and going crazy, being a guard dog. It's like UPS just delivered a package. Good boy. I'm so proud of you for not barking and going crazy. That was an issue for a while with him, like waking up our daughter if she's asleep because he'd start barking. So he's gotten a lot better about that. So I'm really proud of him. Good boy, Elvis. Good boy. You're such a good doggy. But yeah, so it's been an issue. It was a pain in the butt to get stuff up to Canada. And yeah. Any word from Blendmount on creating a Thea bracket? They are going to be doing one. They've already been talking to Redenso about design stuff. I think they have a pre-order, like sign up notification list or something on their website. Head over, and they have a thing where you can like get notified when a Thea clip is available for the Blendmount. So yeah, that's in progress, but obviously not available yet. Let's see. Anybody bought radar from the US and got it shipped to Canada? Yeah, I know there's like shipping services and stuff. I feel for you guys in Canada and just other countries. I know shipping is a pain. Or you guys in New Zealand, you're paying a fortune for the detectors and for shipping and all the markups and stuff. And it's an issue. Let's see. Trevor, a while ago, you gave me some feedback on running fast Ethernet around the house for editing footage remotely, and it was super helpful. Now I'm able to edit 4K over the LAN. Oh, nice. Yeah. It's trying to edit over Wi-Fi is awful. Do you run like gigabit or do you run 10 gigabit? I run gigabit, and I find it tough to like stream fast enough. So I've actually been thinking about upgrading to 10 gigabit. So I've got like Cat 6 here, and I just need to get like the card and the switches and the adapter for my NAS and stuff. But yeah, I want to upgrade to 10 gigabit to be able to edit over that. Gigabit is still kind of tough, and it feels slow a lot of times. I mean, trying to transfer. I have just gigabit with the switch. It's fast but the initial response is slow. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that's working for you. Sargon Smith, have you done any testing with cell signal boosters? I have not. I've been wanting to get one for road trips, but those things are like $400 or $500. A lot of them are pricey. Yeah, and I don't know if that's the kind of thing where I would want to go and like buy 4 different ones to start testing them, because I don't know if that would be like applicable for everybody. I mean, things vary depending on where you drive and what cell phone company you use and what phone you have and stuff. So I guess that could be nice. Hopefully it would be valuable, but I don't know. Say for a road trip, from the road trip, not impressed with signal boosters. Yeah, actually, you'd probably know better. Were they helpful? Did they make a difference? Or I don't know. Chris, 10 gigabit, highest I can get is 1 gig. Yeah, I mean for the internal LAN, not so much like gigabit to the internet. I mean just internal LAN networking, 10 gigabit. Let's see. Love to see you test the cell signal boosters. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a thing. You just drive out to somewhere, and I guess then I'd have to get like a SIM card for AT&T and for Verizon. I've got T-Mobile, so I'd have to like get a couple of them. Where can I get a Vortex t-shirt from? I actually just disabled the thing. Just because it was kind of conflicting with some weird YouTube stuff, but I had a link set up for a while for Teespring to where you can go and order them. I can put the link back in later. Let's see. All right, here. Do I have a link for the store? Where is it? How do I get that? Stores. I don't know. I'd have to go and like pull it up again, but storefront. I think it's this. It's only to organize it and make it look good and all this kind of stuff. But here, this should work. If you want one of the Vortex radar shirts, there's the link for it. The ones with like the premium cotton or something, those are super, super comfortable. I bought some with like just the regular cheapy ones, and I think those sucked, and I removed them completely off the store. So I only did the ones with like the really nice cotton because I found that made a difference. About like short sleeve and long sleeve for testing and stuff. I've actually got a couple Vortex radar stickers. Where are they? But I figure maybe I'll like give those away or something too, different colors and sizes. So maybe I'll throw that in for like the end of the year giveaway. So that could be fun too. So idea, I'll throw that in. Let's see. Smoking. Okay, so as far as the high gain antenna on a fixed modem was far more effective than the signal booster. Interesting. Typically, if you're on a fringe signal-wise, you can make a call or send a text, but the data was crap across the booster. That makes sense. Yeah, interesting. Florentine. Hey there. Yeah, good to see you, Florentine. Let's see. Test drones. Man, that would be a whole nother thing to get into. I remember when I started getting into dash cams, how much that alone just added to my workload and how involved this testing is. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. Like, I've already got so much with videos. Like I've got a backlog with videos and dash cams. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like at this point, I mean, I need somebody to help me with editing and stuff. I just can't do all this stuff by myself. It's a lot. I'm kind of getting to that point here on my channel. So before I expand, I need people to help me grow because I'm already at my limits of how much I can put out and feeling overwhelmed and getting burned out. So I can't cross. But it'd be nice to get into drones and what about car alarms? And you guys are asking about signal boosters. And I'm like, dude, I'm having trouble just getting the fundamentals here, just getting the basics done. So it's a lot. It's a lot. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's one of the nice things is I can't do everything, but it'd be nice if I'm just so glad there's so many tech people on YouTube who focus on drones or focus on cell phones or focus on GoPros or whatever. I guess everybody kind of has their niches, you know? Let's see. Sounds like a cool way to get free stuff until you do the proper testing. Dude, getting free stuff. You think how nice when it was you first get into this and somebody's like, I'll send you a free dash cam and you're free whatever. And you're like, oh, I can get something for free to review. And all I got to do is put out a video. And then you realize you spend the next 2-3 weeks testing and working on the view and reviewing and editing and getting it on. You devote 3 weeks of your time to get a free $200 thing. And then you're like, you get several requests every week and then every day. And you're like, how the heck am I supposed to review stuff? It takes so much to do one thing. Oh my gosh. Like, and then there's no way you can do it for free. And like, it's so much. You just can't do it. Or what happens if somebody sends something to you for free and then you don't like it? And you're like, so now what? You're going to put out a bad review of something that's going to make them look bad. And you're going to tell people why you don't like it. And then if you're doing affiliate stuff and you're like, okay, well, I make money when somebody buys something and then I put out something that's bad, that's not good for the business side. And then the company gets pissed off and you spend all this time to say something, here's something you don't even buy. And you're like, how do you balance that? And it's like, okay, well, I want to test stuff that I really like. And I think it's important to test things that are not necessarily good. You don't want to just test everything that's good. It's also important to balance things that are bad. And if it's popular, how do you consider that? And it's just, sometimes it's good to test something. So if you review lots of stuff, you just focus on the best things, but your knowledge base is actually a lot wider. And then, yes, I still do reviews that are bad, but I'm always trying to be fair with companies and say, I'm not just trying to slam you and talking about why you're awful. I'm like, here's a review. I like this. I don't like that. I think that could be improved. Ultimately, no, I don't recommend it. I think there's something else that's better. That gets into a whole other can of worms of why just getting stuff for free, you get so much stuff that people want to send you for free that you just do not have the bandwidth to test everything. And it's just like, yeah, it sounds great initially, but then it's like, no. I still got tons of stuff that I paid for, stuff that I got for free that I still need to review that I'm procrastinating now by hanging out with you guys and live streaming instead of getting to my reviews. So yeah, it's a thing. Anyway, let's see. Okay. So anyway, getting off the free stuff thing. Let's see. Peter, Red Flex fixed photo radar. My Redline original only detects it after I pass it. Yeah. The Redline is not meant for any of the low-powered modulated stuff. Do you think Thea will be the king of detecting this? I do. I mean, I don't think I've seen any like specific detection stuff on how it can handle the MRCD, but I know it's designed specifically, like it can very clearly tell this is MRCD, this is MRCT, this is Red Flex, this is mesh diffusion. I mean, all of these different systems that are difficult for detectors to pick up, Thea can detect it very accurately and easily. Now, I don't know how much range it's going to give you. I know most detectors at this point can give you reasonable amount of range. I don't know if Thea is going to give you crazy range against those, but it shouldn't have the same falsing issues and identification issues that we're seeing with traditional detectors. So I think it's going to be better. I'm actually really excited to see how it handles the Red Flex. I know they have it in Arizona. It sounds like they've got it up in Ontario as well. I'm really curious to see that. You know, getting longer range against these radar guns is great, but not a huge deal. getting longer, really good range against MRCD and MRCT and red flags, that is a meaningful difference. So I'm really excited to see that. I don't have them in use here, so I can't test them personally, but I'm excited to see you guys who do have them to have a chance to go out and do the testing and see, what is it like against the Redline? What is it like against the newer detectors? What is it like against Thea? Does Thea really help against those situations? I think it will, but we got to test, of course. That's the whole point, to find out for sure, is to test. I'm starting to get hungry. Just don't mind, I've got some Cheez-Its here, so I'm going to start snacking a little bit because I'm getting kind of hungry. So what time is it? 2 o'clock. Maybe I'll mute my microphone so you guys don't hear me like, hop, 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 hop. Rocky Mountain Radar has left the chat. You give them a bad review, needs to improve. I guess it depends on what kind of a bad review it is. Rocky Mountain Radar, I'm going to be like very clear. You guys are scamming people. Your product does not perform as advertised. And I'm putting this video out so people know very clearly, here's what it's actually capable of, period. Then it's funny, they get into like, oh, I'm lying, I'm being paid by the competition. Or I'm like, if it worked, I would be happy to recommend it. I can still make my affiliate stuff linking to Amazon for Rocky Mountain Radar. And why run any of these detectors when you can just get something that scrambles? Totally, I would use it myself and I would recommend it. I mean, I guess if it was legal, but it doesn't. Hey, oops. He's getting all excited now because I've got crackers and he's like, oh, I want a treat. I want a snack. So, okay. Hopefully this isn't annoying. I'm going to mute my mic real quick. Did I not do it? I think I messed up the mute button. I messed up the mute button. I'm sorry. Well, I guess now you guys can let me know if the crunching sound was annoying because you could hear me. I went to unmute it and then it started blinking, meaning it was muted. And I was like, wait a minute. So I wonder about the guys who do like Twitch live streaming for like 8 hours straight and they got to take bathroom breaks and, eat meals and stuff, how that works. But I think this is actually the longest live stream I've done. Usually I'm on for like an hour or so. We've been going for 2 hours so far, and I live streamed for half an hour before this. Please don't forget your dog when eating crisps. Yeah, I try not to give him too much human food. That was the rule before Luna. But now, every time we go like for a meal, he immediately runs underneath Luna's chair and just lays down, and he's ready because she would take food and she would like, she's a baby, so it falls off. And he's just there as our vacuum cleaner to eat whatever it is that she drops. And so we was like, okay, we need to clean the plate. And we can just give it to him and he'll clean up the plates for us. It's awesome. And it's been so nice having a dog with a baby to take care of all the food that drops on the ground. That's been amazing. So at first we're like, oh, we're not going to give him too much human food. But now he eats human food all the time. We just got to make sure that she doesn't drop anything that's poisonous to him. So like if she's eating grapes, we got to be super careful that he doesn't eat anything. And she's even learned now. She'll take food and like hold it off the edge of the tray and drop it so that Albus can get it. And she gets excited. She leans over the side of the high chair to watch him. Trevor, my dog just got a bee sting on his snout. His nose looks like a baseball. Oh man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Hopefully it like the swelling goes back down. Was he allergic? Is that like a bad thing for dogs allergy wise, where it could be like super bad, or is it just, I don't know if it affects their breathing? Like, how is that? How do you like the adjustable dumbbells? Those are amazing. I really like those. To have something compact and you can rotate and do different weights and stuff. The grips are like super comfy, the rubberized ones. That's been really nice. So all the like work from home things. Yeah, that's been great. Forget who is it, like Bowflex or something? They're great. I think we bought them used off like Facebook Marketplace or something. Let's see. That's why you do Amazon reviews. Takes like 30 seconds. Did you guys know that I actually got kicked off of doing Amazon reviews? I used to do them, and I would do like detailed, in-depth reviews, like massive, good ones, and they were like rated really high. And I was like, yeah, it's helpful. Another way to help do that. But because I'm in the industry now, because I do this professionally, they banned me from posting on Amazon, doing reviews at all. I'm like, oh man, so I can't post reviews on Amazon. So that sucks. But because, yeah, there's a lot of bad reviews. So I'm like, I'm going to go in there and post amazing reviews. and they were super helpful. And they deleted all my reviews and banned me. So it's funny. I buy stuff on Amazon, and they're like, "Can you rate this product?" And I'm like, "No, I can't." So that sucks. I guess a fun fact about doing reviews for a living: Amazon doesn't like it if you are good at posting reviews. Okay, that's not a fair way to put it. If you do it professionally, they want just like average, I guess, ordinary people doing it. So their policy, whatever. But anyway, yeah, Amazon reviews. So that's a thing. I think I talked about that in the Batman radar detector review. Like there's a lot of fake reviews there, and they got deleted and stuff. Let's see, you can't post on Amazon. Wouldn't it be a freedom of speech issue? They have the right to restrict whoever they want. It's like spammers, you know. You don't leave it on because freedom of speech. You want to clean it off the spam. And I guess it's a similar thing. Their house, their rules. And I don't think that's what freedom of speech is supposed to do. It's like freedom of speech is supposed to be so you can talk about the government without fear of being thrown in jail and stuff. Not that you're allowed to post whatever the heck you want on the internet without, what's the word? Consequences. So I have like 50,000 in products sitting in boxes. What kind of products? Like drones? Lost in electrical law? You have drones sitting in boxes, or what do you have sitting around? I feel kind of weird eating on camera. It's like you guys are staring at me, watching me eat, and I'm sitting here eating Cheez-Its. It's a weird feeling. But, yeah. Let's see. Freedom of speech is related to the government, not private companies. Yeah. Good afternoon. Hey, what's up, Joe? Good to see you here. So, yeah. What's better, R7 or Max 360? I really wish I had simple answers to all this stuff. I really do. Both are good for different reasons. Escort, auto lockouts, better BSM filtering. The Bluetooth stuff is nice, easier to update. Uniden, longer range. Auto lockouts are coming. BSM filtering isn't as good, but it's got the range. I mean, I think for the general public, the Escorts are better, but I think for enthusiasts who are like super into this, you want the performance, you want to customize it, you go for the Uniden. Maybe that's the simplest way to answer the question. I have an R3. Trevor's asking, never bought the R7. Did they ever get auto lockouts? Not yet. Still in beta testing. Slow, I guess, pandemic related. But yeah, freedom of speech. Why is Escort not answering in sales or support? I think it's pandemic shutdown, and they just got shut down again. Valentine just had to shut down a couple days ago. I think it's just pandemic related stuff. I know they've been hiring more people. That's been an issue, their customer support. They have been hiring more people, but yeah, the pandemic is just, it's why Valentine's not doing trade-ins right now. It's why the Redline 360C is sold out. It's why customer service is shutting down. They're trying to do work from home, but it's just, it's tough. Let's see, homebrew radar system. For, would you like DIY? I guess you could, but then you get into the filtering. It's kind of like homebrew laser versus homebrew radar. Try to get into, like, I guess the filtering, and especially the Dragon Eye and the laser and the filtering on the radar. I don't know. It just seems easier to let somebody else do all the R&D and buy it yourself, but it could be a fun DIY project if you have the skill and know-how. Yeah. Let's see, GT Pro. My first radar detector was a Cobra from years back. Not knowing any better, after getting fed up with it, I tossed it. I wonder about that a lot. Like people who buy Cobras, you know, the $30 ones. I kind of wonder about their experience. Do they like them? See, then when I learned from your videos about detectors, after some kind, I learned the R7 is perfect for California. Such a massive difference. Oh, I believe it. Yeah, just run it there. Get your arrows. Shut off the K-band anyway. Got your red light cameras. It's on point. That's good. I'm on man down. I'm sorry. I'm on a diet, so I'm jealous listening to you chew. What kind of diet are you doing? Like the paleo one, or no carbs, or what kind of diet? Nothing unhealthy, I guess. I'm eating Cheez-Its. It's, I guess, not the healthiest thing, but it's fun. Steven, any recommendations on a stealth radar detector, like the ones you mount on the bumpers and stuff? The escorts are generally going to be your go-to for a stealth detector. RDD immune. I find they're better than the Redenso and the Net Radar. The only other one that I found is like really stealth is the Stinger VIP, but I would not recommend that in general. The escorts are usually going to be your best, the Max CI 360 specifically, not the IX CI, if you want something stealth. So that would usually be the way to go. The Redenso RCM and Net Radar DSP is mostly stealth. I think the newer ones are better on the Redensos, but not as stealth. But a lot of times you can kind of get by with those. Let's see. I've shot at laser interceptor system, no charge. What do you mean, Rod? Like, I don't think there's Dragon Eye around here. Thoughts on how it jams current guns? Laser interceptor, I mean, yeah, obviously it's not going to be able to handle the Dragon Eye, some of the newer Stalker XLRs. I believe some of the newer LTI variants for like True Speed S and stuff given to me for free. It's not going to handle those. So, I mean, that's the issue as manufacturers are starting to update their guns. Laser interceptor is not being updated, so it can't handle some of the newest stuff. But against the older ones, I mean, it was the standard for many years prior to ALP, but that was like 2013 or something. But against the older ones, it's still fine. So depending on the guns that are used, if it's still PL3s and PL4s in your area, LIs are just fine. Let's see. Treading down memory lane. My first detector was a Whistler Spectrum circa 1983. Wow. It's old school, practically Old Testament. I've actually got a couple old detectors, and I'd love to do a video on those, but I don't know the history well enough to do that. I would be like, I don't know, I just throw it on the windshield and put it up against a K-band gun and see what the alerts are like or what the range is like and how they compare to modern guns. But I don't really have, I guess, a good enough understanding of an appreciation of those detectors to do a proper video. But it could be a fun project. I just need to figure out how to do that. Oh, Benadryl is fine for dogs, but if it leads to complications, call a vet. I guess talking about the bee sting thing. Good. Thanks for the tip. I didn't actually know that too. Thanks for sharing that. Let's see. V1 Gen 2. Let's see. Okay. Asking about motorcycle stuff. Irwin. I'm usually not the best person to ask about motorcycle stuff. If anybody is super into like detectors and, motorcycle stuff specifically, if you'd want to make a good resource, a web page, video, even a post on RDF, I'll be happy to link people to. If you're a motorcycle user, here's the things you need to know as far as displays and headset things and, waterproofing and mounting for vibrations and what are the best with gloves and like all the motorcycle specific stuff that I don't really have a good way to test. Post something up on RDF of like, cool, here's everything you need to know. And whenever people ask, I'll just like I'll link people to your post. So Trevor, you're saying all about needing Bluetooth plus a waterproof casing. Yeah. I mean, how does that work? Like, I guess you just hear all the alerts. You don't necessarily get direction depending on the detector. And some of them can announce direction. Bluetooth through your phone versus plugging in a headset and all that jazz. So yeah, maybe post something up on the forum. That could be super useful. I would love to learn. I know it would be useful for people who are, who are also curious. Lost in electrical aisle. 90% of reviews are fake on Amazon. There's a lot of those. Or like sometimes even one product is sort of bunched up with a lot of others. So you're reading reviews, but for some other product altogether. Local to you, you wouldn't happen to have a Max 360 that you want to sell? Nope, I've got one. I hold on to it for videos and stuff. I very rarely get rid of detectors, sell them, give them away or anything. But no, I rarely do that. Usually I buy stuff I need it for videos and stuff. One thing that would be helpful is to actually have multiple detectors sometimes. Like I lent out my V1 Gen 2 right now. I don't have one. And, it'd be nice to actually do a little bit more testing with the latest firmware update. It's causing more false alerts. I can't test it to help contribute and be a part of that conversation because I don't have a V1 Gen 2 on hand right now. So it's always kind of a thing of like if I'm loaning my stuff out to developers or fellow testers and I don't have a second one on hand, or what if I got something in the car and I need it here for a video, I got to go pull it out of the car. Sometimes it's nice just to have a second detector here. So sometimes I'd sell a second detector, but I usually don't sell stuff. And I'm getting really hungry. I think I need to get something more than Cheez-Its and sit here and stuff my face on camera. So anyway, I think I'm going to head out I guess the last thing here, Amazon reviews on the 3 Moon Wolf shirt and sugar-free gummy bears. I actually like started compiling a bunch of funny Amazon reviews, and then they got pissed at me for that too because I had Amazon in the name, and they're like, "Oh, it's proprietary. Get rid of that and stuff." Anyway, Amazon, they're kind of funny about that stuff. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I hope you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving. I hope you guys stay safe. I hope you guys are doing well. So what is this, Thursday? I think tomorrow we're going to hang out and we'll try doing, instead of a live stream like this, I'll post it on Facebook and Twitter, but I want to try doing a Zoom call with you guys. So if you want to join in, turn on your cameras or do audio only, or let's just hang out that way. I have no idea if a Zoom call is going to work or if it's going to be too crazy and busy with everybody chiming in, but let's try doing that tomorrow. I'll post some information on Facebook and I'll post it up on Twitter, and then feel free to join in and we'll just see what that's like. So that should be fun too. So anyways, thanks so much for tuning in. Happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you guys later. Bye.